Hey everyone, today is Friday the 15th of March 2019. This is The Gap, episode 459. I'm Luke Lawrie. Joab Gilroy is here, and he's got finger guns with him this time.
Nah, not anymore. The guns are dead. They're a one-time special. And they'll never be drawn again.
No one will ever see it.
That's
Actually,
it.
no, they could see it. Like, I've still got the recording.
Oh, okay.
They just won't see it.
What?
They won't see it on the audio version.
That's true. They never
Maybe
will.
I could sneak it in as like a blooper.
Yep, sure. That's a good idea. Yeah, I wasn't recording last time. Now I am.
We've got to do the whole 3 hours again.
Yeah,
basically.
Essentially. So hopefully it's as snappy as last time. Maybe you can skip some of your tighter jokes this time. That'd be cool. I don't know. It's up to you. You know, I don't want to note you to death. So you do you.
Yeah, I think we'll leave out the bits where you were doing the voices from Apex Legends again.
Yep. We should definitely leave out those bits. 100%. Because I have to stop doing the voices. Characters in Apex Legends. Oh boy. I can't believe you bring that up. Anyway, yeah, what's going on?
It's Friday. It's nearly the weekend.
It is. Yeah, we're recording a bit late in the week, thanks to some scheduling snafus. But it doesn't matter because
scheduling or scheduling.
Don't do this to me. I always find out like I pronounce shit wrong, and it drives me bananas. Like inventory or inventory. Which one is it?
Some days it's one or the other. Why not?
Yeah.
I like to use a bit of both.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go with Z, sometimes I go with Z, just because.
That's objectively wrong though, because it is Z. We're in Australia. Yeah. 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 Anyway, so I don't know. Scheduling. Scheduling. Yeah. All good.
Cool.
Words.
It's all good.
This is it. Welcome to 3 hours of this nonsense.
Yeah, you're lucky. Last time it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
This part.
Yeah, anyway, video games.
Yeah, man. We've got some things to talk about. Got some news. Lots of news, actually, this week.
Bunch of news.
Interesting news, too. Some juicy stuff. Not things that we've just been like, I guess we could talk about this week.
Yeah. Well, we've scoured the fucking internet, and this is literally all we could come up with. No, this week's some good shit. So that's cool.
Stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I guess speaking of Apex Legends, have you played much this week? Or it seems like everybody's been a bit... well, by everybody, I mean me and you have been a bit busy.
A little bit busy. A little bit too busy for it. Jumped in for a couple of games, but nothing particularly special. I got to be honest.
I played a lot on the weekends.
Oh, yeah. Well,
before
Saturday, yeah. But, man, I got to be honest. They're fucking up this game, eh? They've got to start. The Fortnite fucking thing, it can't just be Fortnite. Everyone has to be doing weekly updates. Everyone has to be fucking on top of this shit. They can't, like, tease a fucking season pass and then delay it week after week after week. At this rate, it is literally going to drop the same fucking day as Battlefield 5's fucking Firestorm shit. Like, it's just fucking cooked. Like, get it out of the fucking door, and from then on, I don't care if the patch is literally, we changed the Mozambique from doing 50 damage per pellet, 5 damage per pellet to 6 damage per pellet. Like, I don't even care if it's like minor shit like that, and then every other week they drop something cool on us, right? Yeah. But they have to be fucking putting some stuff out, because the game is stagnating. People are turning off, right?
Yeah. I was reading some stuff that they've been pushing it, and it could just be speculation, but they've been pushing the season pass back because they're having problems with people exploiting how to get coins. Like, there was some sort of, I don't know, bug or exploit that people found where they could get free Apex coins, and they were worried about if they dropped it, that this thing would leak out and then everybody would be getting free season passes and they'd be losing money.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't know if that was actually legit or...
You'll be losing money if everyone fucking stops playing your game as well, dickheads. So fucking just drop it and fix it for Season 2. Right? Like, if people are still on board for Season 2, then you'll still make a fuck ton of money. But if everyone's fucking drifted off to drifted back to Fortnite or drifted away to Firestorm or whatever the fuck the new hotness is, then you're not going to make any fucking money anyway. So choppity chop. Like, just fucking do it. Pull the fucking
I think we
trigger.
spoke about this last week or the week before about how they were talking about the way they want to sort of handle patches and updates, and they wanted it to be like, put it through the testing, and they didn't just want to put patches out and then see how it ran. And I think we both sort of agreed that that was not the right way to do it. They need to be making constant updates, and it's something I talked about at the start when the game launched, like comparing it to Blackout, not Blackout, Black Ops 4. And the way that they handled their updates, like literally every day they were putting posts out being like, here's what we're working on, here's a new patch, it's fixed all this stuff, it's added new content, it's all the changes. And they were doing that every day for like a month or 2 months, or at least they were doing it for like a month solid, and they went to like a weekly basis when they were doing their patches. But I was still like talking to the community. They started doing that after like a week or two of that I complained about that, but they're still not like, the patches are just non-existent. They did the patch that we talked about.
There's zero transparency.
Recently. Yeah, and that was like the really small changes. Like they added an extra second or something to Pathfinder's, like one of his abilities or something like that. Like really minute things. They added some extra energy weapon stuff, which I like that change. But yeah, they got to start looking at other things like the pistols and the Mozambiques, and start playing with circle settings. Like, start changing that stuff now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they have to get on top of this shit now. Like, not even now. Fuck it, 2 weeks ago when we were talking about it. Like, honest to God, it was literally weeks ago that we've been talking about this, and they have not done fucking shit. Like, yeah, I'll keep playing it, right? But if Firestorm is any fucking good, this one's dead to me. Basically, I've always loved the Battlefield fucking, like, shooting model. And so if it works, like, if they've done their research and made a decent battle royale, I 100% think Apex is in a bunch of trouble. Actually, no, that's not true. People are still going to play Apex. It's free to play. But anyone who owns Battlefield, they're going to play fucking Firestorm. Like, if it's good, obviously. But, yeah, I don't know. I've got no faith that DICE will fucking roll out the fucking updates any fucking faster. So
yeah, they're usually the same as well. They do monthly updates.
The whole thing's fucking. It's so fucking cooked. It doesn't, like. I know it's a fucking strain, but the system doesn't work that way, right? If you wanna play Fortnite's game, right, then you can't just do your old shit while copying a few of their moves, right? Like, it's like in a sport when one team changes the fucking meta. If you want to compete with them, you can't keep playing the old meta. You have to fucking adapt. And then once you've mastered that meta, you can try and do something else, right? You can try to make it your own thing. But until then, everyone's playing fucking goats until we see something different, right? Like, that's just it. Or, back in the days of fucking Rat Dota, everyone who wants to win is just going to play Rat Dota or whatever the fuck, right? That's how it has to be until you've fucking mastered it. And then you can try something different. Or, I mean, obviously in esports cases, the devs can do something about it, but that's not the case here. This is beyond that. The meta of like launching a fucking games as a service is not something that the devs can come in and fucking lean on with patches. Like, this is real life. Sadly, those patches don't exist. So yeah. You just gotta fucking adapt and get it done. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter if they're functionally meaningless. It is, to me, about the communication, right? About keeping your community fucking engaged and talking to you. It doesn't matter if they're fucking, like, it's bad, it's negative feedback, because you can come back and be all, this week we're reverting the Mozambique changes because you didn't like them, but we are also doing this and this and this. And then the week after you can be like, we're, reverting blah blah, but we're keeping this. And people feel like they're along for the fucking ride. and you've got data to back up your moves and all that kind of stuff, and you can say that shit. Nobody ever fucking says this shit. I don't understand why nobody's ever fucking just open.
Rainbow does it.
Yeah, Rainbow's probably like the best example of the people who are fucking actually open, but they weren't for ages. I mean, it took them fucking 3 years before they started actually explaining this shit. Yeah, Dota does it. Like, Dota's obviously unbelievably comprehensive, but it's for massive fucking dorks, so it doesn't count. I'm talking about cool games for cool people, obviously.
Did you see Anna's back?
I did. I commented on the Twitter announcement. I'm like, oh, it's like Michael Jordan's coming back from another stint in baseball, I guess. Seriously. I think he's been gambling.
Michael Jordan or John Farnham? Pick one.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Another Eagles reunion tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I guess played a bit of Apex on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still fun, but
Still good.
yeah, if it just winds up being us and like 57 other sweaty nerds who are diehards, it's gonna get pretty fucking old pretty quick. I mean, we're having some pretty rough games on the weekend where, like, either we would land 1000% alone, or we would land with 7 fucking other teams on top of us, and it was just a fucking crapshoot. Like, you can't win that game if you are the second. I've said it before. If you're the second team in, and there's still 5 teams left to come, you're just not going to win, right? Like, you don't have the fucking resources. The sustain doesn't exist. But
yeah, loot table change is the one thing they need to work on.
Yeah, like
more loot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times did we fucking land somewhere? And I distinctly remember one specific example of landing at fucking water treatment, and we landed, and I had a fucking Mozambique, and the other, like, I think only one other person had a fucking gun. The other person didn't. And then I shot my pointless fucking Mozambique into the other, like, the first player I saw, and they're like pink purple armor, and they shoot me with a fucking R301. I'm like, how the fuck does this happen? Right? Like, I'm rocking a fucking Mozambique for 3 of us. Nobody's got any fucking armor, and these cunts are fully geared already. Like, how the fuck? But it's like, you know, that is the RNG game. That's the game you play. But there should be more than enough at a high tier loot area to fucking get a gun between 3 guns between the fucking 3 of us. Like, it shouldn't be fucking your turn with the Mozambique. Your turn to throw fucking wet paper at the wall. Do nothing to these fucking pricks who are already in fucking full armor. It just, the concept of high tier loot is moot in so many fucking instances in that fucking, on that map. Like, it's just a fucking straight out lie. Holy shit. The amount of times I've landed there, or where's the other one? Swamps. Apparently high tier loot. But Swamps covers like fucking 16 kilometers of fucking swampy area and trees and shit. So to actually get to the loot, you got to fucking spend like 6 minutes going through every fucking house. Yeah, like, it feels like a real crotch punch when they don't put enough loot down in a single area. I saw a fucking hilarious video of someone who opened one of those fucking loot crates, and the only thing in there was it like a Mozambique and nothing else? Like, this fucking entire crate for just one gun that nobody wants. I've definitely opened a couple where it's just been a shield cell or something, and I'd always pick up a shield cell, but like, I'm like, well, cool, I'm glad that's not the first crate I came across, because fuck, like, I'd be completely boned. I'd basically just be holding on to a shield cell for a moment before someone came along and took it from me. Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely been getting saltier in games over the last week, I think. Just because I don't think I should like just keep winding up losing games where I don't think I should be losing. You know, like double queuing in with some fucktard who somehow gets the jump master and immediately dives us straight down or whatever. Like that kind of stuff. Just it feels really bad. A really bad way to lose.
Hmm.
That's the problem. You know, I guess we're winding up in a situation where I'm feeling more and more like because the loot tables are piss poor in some locations. I'm feeling more and more like I'm just distinctly losing the dice rolls. It's bad RNG where there's literally nothing I could have done. It's not like I could have played it better, right? I landed at the end of the fucking drop and rolled some dice, and they came up natural one because two other fucking teams had decided to do the same thing. I couldn't see them because I'm jump master. We're gonna land first, so I'm doing that correctly, right? Maybe my teammates haven't correctly informed me that we're about to get fucking jumped on. Whatever. That's not, that's not on me. So as far as I can tell, I've done the right thing. Jump to the point where I will land first at a location where it's unlikely that people will be and ostensibly has high tier loot. Right? We're coming from the north. I jump water treatment. Roll a 1. 2 other teams. Okay. Land. Roll another 1. The first fucking thing I open has like shield cells and energy ammo. No guns.
A knockdown shield.
Yeah, a knockdown shield. A white knockdown shield. Okay, cool. Roll another 1. Next one I open up has a Mozambique. Still no armor. Still no other gun. Okay, fine. And then I turn a fucking corner and this dude's rolled nothing but fucking natural 20s. And he's already in gold armor. He's got a fucking, like, fully kitted Peacekeeper. And I'm just fucking, like, cool. Well, I guess I'm done, right? Like, there's not much I can do. So, yeah.
But that's Battle Royale, right?
That is Battle Royale, but it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah, they can sort the loot table out so there's enough stuff for everybody.
You could make it so that
At least.
rolling 6 natural 1s in a row can't happen because everything's got a fucking +3 modifier on it or some shit. So at least I'm going to wind up like getting some fucking armor and an R99 or something. Like, yeah. R99 is actually a pretty high roll, to be honest. That gun beasts.
I use that on the 301.
I've been like missing out. I'd sort of written it off as like a slightly better alternator, but it's way better than that. It's slants. Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Yep.
All right. Should we keep on going?
Let's do it.
What else you got here? We played some more Rainbow Six Siege. Was this out last week? Oh, we played a little bit of it, I think. Yeah, we played a little bit last week. Like, it had only just come out, I think, on like the Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah. Did we talk about the launch party?
Fuck. Yeah, we did.
But it was coming out because we recorded Thursday last week, and we hadn't had a chance to play it all that much.
Yeah,
I know that for sure. Yeah, we played this a bunch over the weekend, and
yeah, we played a bit more. Yeah, just
I think
really
that was
Outback.
after the podcast last week. Yeah, we were just queuing into Outback essentially. It was good fun.
They ended up fixing the matchmaking region bug. That was the data center where it was just putting people in random data centers. It got to the point where we were just quitting out of games because we were ending up with like 220 ping or something like that.
It was honest to God unplayable, and just straight up not fun. But
especially in a game where like you don't take that much damage.
You're 2 bullets away from dying, getting like peaked.
Yeah. If you get headshot, that's pretty much it.
It's the fucking worst. Yeah, so that was a bummer for a little while, but it was still like a good showcase of what was to come. Eventually, yeah, they fixed that up, and we're playing regulars, and I was having a lot of fun. I mean, it's clear that Rainbow is one of those games where like one really good player can do a lot of work for a team.
I do that. Yeah, it's quite hard.
Here we go.
Sometimes.
Here we go. There was one dude on like that we kept getting matched up against, who was spectacular.
He's taking it very seriously.
He was.
He was like fucking peeking windows and jumping out of fucking like playing outside the map. It's like, oh man, like I just fucking hate dudes that do that.
Right.
They're just like, all right, peek a window, but when they're actually coming outside,
Yeah.
and like spending literally fucking 15 seconds outside, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's super lame. I still agree with like the idea that they should take tick damage the entire time they're outside, or at the very least, as soon as they're spotted, they should start taking basically like 10 damage, like fucking gridlocks, track stinger level damage every single fucking tick that they're outside. That's my honest 100% belief, and you can turn it off for competitive if you really truly believe that that it's like a vital play system. But no, fuck it. I hate it. I hate it in casual. It's just.
And we murdered this guy a lot. Like, pretty much, I think he did it once, and then every time he tried to do it after that, he just got fucking annihilated.
Yeah, we were all.
It's just the fact that we have to watch for that every single match.
It's just it's like tedious. It's boring. It's so dull, and like I don't know why you're doing it. Are you trying to watch a YouTube or something? You're trying to get back to your YouTube as quick as possible, so you'll duck out and see if you can get some bullshit quick kills or whatever. Like I just don't get it. Yeah, it's horseshit. But Outback's a great map. I think it's an awesome map. There's like the visual distinction that you were talking about when you went to Six Invitational is so fucking helpful for quickly learning how the map works. And there's that, and there's like I think it's got like a lot of character, a lot of Aussie character that really comes across in it. Like it was fun to make fun of the quirks early on, but
kangaroo burger.
Yeah, like I've played a couple of games and they're like, oh, this is just like randos are just like, oh, this is just making fun of Australians. Oh, this is a travesty. Oh, blah blah blah. And I'm always like up in chat myself defending it. I'm like, it's proper un-Australian to whine about something not representing Australian correctly, because I'm pretty sure Australia's like nationally recognized favorite piece of entertainment media, international media with Australia in it, is the Simpsons episode where they come to Australia, and that is 1000% a piss take, a 22-minute long piss take. And I think it's extremely Australian to be all about the piss take. This doesn't really take the piss, in my opinion. It does remind me of some like terrible servos out in the desert that I've been to. Maybe a little bit grander than the average one, but I could definitely see it being like a Rissol / servo type situation. So it's a good map. Mozzie and Gridlock are fucking.
They're good operators.
They're both good. I don't think either is necessarily essential, to be honest.
Mozzie will be in pro unless they nerf him.
I don't think he is. I think he's great to have, but I just don't think he brings that much extra to the table. It's just a couple extra cameras, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it's an information game in Rainbow.
Yeah.
And if you can get 3 cameras, it's not even just about stealing cameras from other people, like denying them information. It's about stealing cameras and then giving yourself even more information, because you can use them in hallways, and it's like a.
Couldn't you just shoot the cameras and put up some Valk cams?
Why not have Valk and Mozzie?
All the information.
Yeah, I think he's huge. I think that Gridlock is interesting, because I think she's viable for competitive, but also like she's a fun character to play in casual. Like she's not like I don't know, man. Like, I don't think I've ever played Vigil,
Yeah,
maybe twice.
yeah,
Like, that's to me is not, um, like in pro scenes. Like, if you want to play a competitive ranked match, yeah, probably. But for a casual game, I'm just like, whatever. Like,
yeah.
not my thing.
Yeah, like her tracks thing is they hurt. They I think need to be
I
nerfed.
think they'll get nerfed. Yeah.
Um, but they spread out huge. They make like quality noise, and I reckon her as a retake like operative or a counter retake operative rather, huge. I'd love to see like them bring her in on something like Garage and Consulate, drop the fucking drop the diffuser and then just surround it with fucking track stingers.
Yeah.
Because the amount of effort you'd have to put in to do something about it, you'd either have to specifically save an impact grenade. Like, I think you would literally have to save an impact grenade to make yourself a path in, uh, because like the valuable seconds that you'll waste trying to destroy them otherwise will turn it into like just a nightmare.
Hmm.
Which is cool. Like I reckon that's really cool, but I don't think we'll see her. She's not like an auto pick. There are so many
I know, she's
awesome
not.
attackers, but she's like a really valuable addition to the roster. Mozzie, I honestly think, is as essential as Valk. Like I don't think you'd have both. Is what I'm saying. And like I think Valk gets picked a lot, right? She gets banned
Yeah,
quite a
she has
bit as
picked
well.
a bit. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll see like probably share in some of those picks because they're both 2-2s, right? So they both like fill a really similar fucking space. He's probably a bit more suited to anchors, while Valk's a bit more suited to roamers, and that's probably it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the way I see it.
The
Yeah,
only way I think gridlock. The only way they nerf. I don't think like I'm sort of up, undecided about that nerf of lowering the damage because the way Legion works is that his goo mines are invisible, whereas gridlocks you can see
yeah,
them. If you stand on it, it's your fault. And for me, playing as much as we did, I maybe have taken a total of 20 damage on gridlock tracks. Like I've always seen them, so I think maybe they just leave the high damage there because I think it's 10
yeah. It
per
is.
tick,
It's 10. Yeah,
which I think is probably fine because they're things that you can see. If you end up walking into them,
yeah.
it's probably your own fault.
Or you did it on purpose because you don't care about that.
Yeah. So and maybe if they lower it too much, then they just become like they're not even worth
Yeah,
the
right.
damage
Yeah,
anymore.
that's
And
true.
because the big part of them is the noise, like that's or area denial.
Yeah,
Because you've got to stop and think about it, and I think that's more important than the damage taking aspect. So I think leaving the damage is probably okay.
oh, yeah, that's fair. I got a
What were you
couple
gonna
of
say?
got a couple of stinger kills though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got
All right.
so
Did you do the one where
hilarious.
you shoot at the top floors and then you throw them down on the bomb site?
Like the hatches. I've done that.
Yeah, or
fucking
just like
tons.
shoot like holes in the ground
I've
and then
tried
just
that.
throw them in doorways or
I've tried that and not been able to get them between the slats.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really practiced it that much. I've tried it a couple of times. I did have one where it landed and it's sort of like in a really goofy way, so that it actually spread out underneath the. I was on the second floor. It spread out on the second floor,
Hmm.
but it was underneath the floor,
Oh, right, like the bits in between. Yeah.
and
'Cause
so
it's generally 2 layers.
yeah, it was doing damage. It was invisible. Sadly,
Nice.
it was not that much help,
Useless.
but yeah, it was not in a great spot, but yeah, it was doing damage and was invisible, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's it's a good update. Apparently, there's some glitches, more glitches that like neither of us have experienced.
You were talking about sound problems. I
Sound
didn't
glitches,
have
yeah. I
problems.
wasn't having them. I was tracking what the pros were saying about the game, and they were having sound glitches quite a bit apparently. I'm not sure what it's related to. but yeah, it was happening, which is annoying. But
I mean, they put in a while back the updates where the sound sort of travels around walls. You know,
yeah,
they put that in. I don't know if it's related to something like that, whereas they're having weird issues where it sounds like someone's coming from
no, they were
somewhere
like
they're
losing
not.
all sound altogether,
Right, yeah.
which is yeah, not great.
I haven't had that.
And there's apparently a couple other glitches that have been introduced, but it happens, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
it's out there. They'll fix it. I fully believe they will. So, yeah, it's a really good update. And yeah, having used Mozzie on a couple of the other maps as well, like Mozzie and Gridlock on a couple of the other maps, they like there's some utility. There's some awesome utility there. What's the Japanese one? Skyscraper.
The map?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, Gridlock's awesome on that one, eh? So fucking good. Because it's a lot of narrow hallways. So you can basically just shut off a couple of like clear routes for people, and
To roam.
yeah, to try and get back to you are hardcore
I
fucking
found a
tricky.
few places.
What?
Thanks, Google.
Shut up. Um. Anyway, yeah. What else was I saying? Oh yeah, and Mozzie. Yeah, I think Mozzie's just fun to play as. I'm gonna have to check if and see if I can use that clip. I'm doing a preview update for IGN, and there's a clip of me sitting there like fiddling around with Mozzie's like reload animation because he does this like hand flick so that he throws the fucking clip away and then chucks the next one, and it's very slick. And I'm doing it, and then this like the last attacker like fucking balls in while I'm just shooting at a wall doing like reload animations, and comes around and I like just fucking pop him in a second. But yeah, Luke's sitting there going vagina, vagina the whole time. So yeah, it's not great. And then the other bit, the replay, because it was the last kill of the round, so we got the full kill cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke's sitting there like, oh, I thought you were recording video, so I was trying to wreck it. Like, you wrecked this one too, dickhead. So yeah, hopefully we can use that clip. Because it's magical. I love it to bits. It's my favorite thing, but there is someone yelling vagina over the top of it.
So,
If we can't, I'm just going to tweet it. Because I don't give a fuck.
just cut the sound out. There you
Fuck that.
go. Re-record the sound.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff.
Yeah. All right. What we got here? Until Dawn.
Yeah.
The old game?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So Bandersnatch came out on Netflix a while ago, and after we finished it, my wife was fucking all about it. She loved it. And I'm like,
It's pretty average.
yeah, being
Sorry,
being
below
a
average.
fucking game dork, I'm like, this is like, it's good, but it's been done better. And she's like, oh, can we play it being done better? I'm like, yeah.
You're like, let's start off at the bottom. Here, let's play some David Cage first. Let's prepare you.
Oh man, no, Bandersnatch was
She'd be
better
like, this is
than
amazing. Oh my
David Cage.
gosh.
So yeah, I last Sunday, basically all we did all day, we played through Until Dawn from start to finish, with me playing and her making the choices. And so basically, yeah, it was literally a case of, hey, what do you want to do? And she would have to pick one or the other. And in a few cases, she got too flustered, and I just made the choice for her, like twice. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, a few things I didn't really pay attention to last time because I didn't play it all in one sitting. But first of all, that game, you know that sound of snow crunching under boots? Oh, I can't do it. I can't handle it. It's the same with like soft sand on your feet. I can't fucking handle it. It's like, it is legit like fucking nails on a chalkboard for me. It is the fucking and Until Dawn has fucking stacks of it, which is not great. The sound design altogether in that game is pretty bad. There are some people who legit sound like they fucking phoned it in, like some of their
Academy
lines.
Award winner Rami Malek.
There are some scenes where he definitely was in a sound booth recording his lines, and there are some scenes where he was definitely on the fucking phone, calling that shit in. I cannot believe how bad it is in some situations. But yeah, so those two things. But yeah, apart from that, stellar, like fantastic, like even better playing with someone who hadn't seen it before, had no idea what was coming, like was sitting there. She was like, it was like watching Game of Thrones with her, having read all the books. Like, I'm not going to know what's coming up in the next season, but I knew what was in most of the others. And I'd be like, oh, I know what's going on. But she's sitting there like, oh, I bet this is happening. Oh, I bet this is what it is. I'm like, awesome. Very cool. And yeah, she doesn't make choices the same way I do, which led to a lot of those kids fucking dying, like straight up dying. Because I make choices sort of like based on how I believe it would be written, so that the outcomes, like I want my outcomes to be as positive as possible. So I make choices based on how I figure. That's how I played it through it the first time, and I saved 4, 5, saved 5.
I think I lost 1, or I think I lost Jessica maybe.
No, you can't. I don't think if you lost Jessica, you had to lose Matthew. I think.
I can't remember.
I think.
Maybe it was 2.
Yeah, Matthew's the hardest one to fucking save, as far as I know.
Who's Matthew? Which one's that?
Emily's new boyfriend.
I can't remember.
The black guy.
Oh, the black guy. Okay. I still can't remember.
He is super hard to save, which is pretty fucking horror movie trope. But
is he the one down in the caves?
Yeah.
Right. You know, I think I saved him.
You reckon?
I don't know, man. I feel like I 1 or 2 at the most I lost.
After we finished, we looked up what you had to do to save all of them, and I was basically just going through and like marking all the places where her decisions directly led to someone's death. There are like 4 critical fail points for Matthew, and one of them appears like it does not have any fucking. It doesn't follow logical reason. So yeah, it's definitely real easy to lose that dude. Jessica is. Oh, she was so close to living. She's so close. But
did you take the route where you've got to go down the snow and you can either be like really careful or go through it really quickly?
Every single fucking time there was an option to take it careful or take it slow, my wife picked the fucking the hairier version. She's like, you can do all the quick time events. You won't fail the quick time events. I'm like, could we just climb this fucking wall like sane people instead of fucking Tom Cruise jumping for some shit for once? Like, just once. I would love to not have to be like, oh god, I didn't fail any of the quick time events. They were never all that difficult as quick time events go, but like it doesn't hard fail you if you press the wrong button, so you can sort of just cram your fucking hand into the whole thing if you need to. But holy shit, it was still like, yeah, she was going ham on making me do all the hard shit.
Right. Yeah.
Rough. But yeah, so that was that. Yeah, it's just a really good it's a good game. Like it's genuinely interesting and entertaining game. And yeah, she really she agreed way better than Bandersnatch. And yeah, she wants something else like it, but there, in my opinion, isn't really anything like it. Like nothing at that same level, in my opinion. You know,
Yeah,
it
and that's
had
one of the best examples.
well, it's got that it's that perfect like nexus point between like cinematic, so that she can sort of watch it happen, and like meaningful choices. Whereas a lot of like other interactive fiction is not terribly cinematic and stuff, which I don't think she'll necessarily go for. But yeah, she's been playing 80 days and stuff, so it's not to say she doesn't like have any interest in interactive fiction. I just don't think in most cases it will have the same impact as Until Dawn did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, aren't they working on an anthology series?
Are they?
Those guys? I thought they were. Because they did some of the like we've talked about some of their other games on here. Not they weren't as good. There was the like detective one with the phone.
Yeah.
That was them.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are doing an anthology horror series
Right. Okay.
as well, unless that's a different company. But I thought it was them. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What I'd love to do is get like, because I would love Until Dawn with that phone system, right? I think you'd still need someone on the control,
Playing it. Yeah.
but I would love it to have the phone system to make and then I'd love to get like
Multiple
fucking heaps of people around to make the decisions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I think that would be, yeah, never played Until Dawn as a party game, but I think it'd be hilarious, like super entertaining. So.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're going for with this anthology thing, if I'm remembering correctly. Because Until Dawn is still like a 6 to 8 hour game, right? Is that how
Looks
long
like
it is?
10 hours, I think.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Um,
I don't know if I talked about it. My partner played it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she really enjoyed it. She played through it herself and just sat on it for the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just don't remember how long it was. Yeah, it must be 10 hours.
Yeah, I think you could get longer. When it ended, she said immediately, okay, let's go again. I'm like, A, it's 7 o'clock at night, and we haven't eaten. And B, no, are you fucking crazy? I'm gonna be a fucking giant knot of fucking nerves if you make me go through every fucking QuickTime event in that game again. Yeah. Instead, we spent like a full hour watching on YouTube all the different, like the best ending that she could have gotten and all that kind of stuff, the secret endings, and yeah, going through all the critical fail points to see exactly how certain people died. She would have saved 4, but she fucked up right at the end, which was a bummer. She could have gotten away with like 4 people alive, but yeah,
Did you fail the bit where you have to not move the controller?
I failed one of those, but not right at the end. I'd forgotten about one of them, but right at the end I knew it was coming up, so I sort of had my fucking controller sitting like next to the armchair, like on my sofa. And so as soon as it popped up, I was able to put it down and then just not move it. Because anytime I hold it and try to not move it, I move it 100% of the time.
Right.
I'm not able to stay still, apparently. Anyway.
Yeah. Hidden Agenda was the one we played last time. It's from Supermassive Games. That was the mobile game. And
Right.
the new one they're working on is called the Dark Pictures Anthology. The first one is called Man of Medan.
Man of Medan.
Don't know. There's no link, so I can look at it, but yeah, that's what they're working on.
Right.
I think that was the. Was it something where you're in a boat? I feel like I remember the trailer. If it was that game,
I don't know.
some sort of giant ship. Anyway, man, if they're doing like that sort of Until Dawn stuff with anthology, like smaller bits, then yeah, man, I'm all for it. That game was really good.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
I feel like I don't know. I think it was in my top 5 one year. I don't know.
I think
if
it was,
in
yeah.
yours.
No, I
think
wasn't
it
in mine.
was- No, it was probably close. I feel like
Hmm.
because I know you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. What else we got here that you want to talk about?
World of Tanks Frontlines. Played this went to Wargaming Sydney's offices the other day, and yeah, played some of this. They're relaunching it, so it's like they're doing it so that it's always like they're doing it for a full season type thing now, and you can actually earn tanks by playing it, which is not something that they've done before, I believe. And yeah, they're not great tanks in my opinion that you earn, but I'm not super fucking tank boy, so I don't know everything. But yeah, basically Frontlines is the 30v30 massive map mode that I was playing when it launched last year. We talked about it back then a bit. I'm sad to say that it is still woefully lopsided in favor of attackers. I've won a couple of games as defenders. I don't know what it is, but I seem to keep getting put on the defender's side, and it feels like loss is inevitable when you're on the defender's side. It's designed in such a way that makes it unbelievably unfair towards the defenders. The amount of extra time attackers get makes it really difficult for defenders to hold out just a little bit longer. You get like an extra 2 minutes, or I think it's extra 4 minutes once an entire like belt is finished. So realizing now that not everyone will remember what I was talking about a year ago. So, well, the tank game, everyone is a tank. Generally, if you die, you can't respawn, so you go start a new game. It's been described as sort of Counter-Strike with tanks. That is sort of an accurate description, but it's not the full picture. There's a lot of it's a very nerdy game about knowing a lot about tanks and knowing the best ways to destroy a tank, which you'll never ever use again. And yeah, it's populated by World War II tanks, largely by World War II tanks, or like tanks that came out close to World War II. And yeah, you wind up, you level up, go through these tech trees, build into new tanks. There's tiers. Tanks can't fight tiers more than 2 above or below them. So if you've got a tier 7, you won't fight anything above tier 9. You won't fight anything below tier 5. Invariably, if you're a tier 7, you will almost always be fighting tier 9s. Same goes for tier 8s. Tier 10 is the highest tier that they've got. Frontlines is a 30v30 version of this where you can respawn, but you respawn into another tank, not the same tank that you're in. So if you're in a Tiger 2, which is my favorite tier 8 tank, when that Tiger 2 dies, you will respawn into a different tank, one of your other tanks. I've got a couple. So I would respawn into my Scorpion G or something else, right? And it would take time for that Tiger 2 to be repaired so that it could be respawned into. If you only have the one tank, the one T8, you can't respawn. You got to wait until that tank is repaired. I think it takes 5 minutes. It's pretty, it's rough. That bit of it is rough, but it incentivizes you to have as many fucking tanks as you can, which I guess is their money-making scheme. Yeah. The map itself is huge. I think it's the largest map they've ever had. It's basically 9 other maps stuck on top of one another. And when you nine other maps, yeah. And you can drive wherever the fuck you want. Like you can go from one diagonal to the other whenever you like. The way it works is it's got a front. So you've got at the start, it's sort of like Rush in Battlefield.
Yeah.
You got like point A, point B, point C, and you've got to capture point A so that you can go capture point D, so that you can go destroy 3 objectives. So there's 5 objectives. You got to destroy 3 of them. you can't get to the objectives before you've cleared a path through the line. So you've got to kill A and D, or you got to kill B and E, or C and F. If you kill A, B, and C, you get if you kill A, you get a 2-minute bonus. Same goes for B and C, and D and E and F. But if you kill A, B, and C, you get a 4-minute bonus. Same for D, E, and F. And then you're able to slam your way into the objectives. There's once a point has been lost, once A has been lost, any defenders in A have 60 seconds to get out of that quadrant before they are just bombed to death. Like they just straight up die. So it's sort of like the fallback mechanic, except instead of being visible everywhere, which is how Battlefield 5 does it, you're just killed. Which is a desperately unfair mechanic on defenders, and part of why you're severely punished for being a defender, because it means that if you are just shy of the cap, or even if you're next to the cap, next to A cap, and they manage to secure it, you have 60 seconds to get out, or your tank is dead. Which means it takes 60 seconds for a heavy tank to drive that distance, full beeline, no turning, just fucking straight line, straight out of the fucking zone. It takes 60 seconds, to cover that distance. So you have to disengage immediately and get the fuck out. What this translates to in practice is players who don't want to lose their fucking tank not actually pushing the cap, because they're if the attacking team is on the cap and over halfway, right? You don't push the cap because you're just going to lose your tank, because you'll never be able to get out in time, because you'll have to get out under fire while getting tracked. You might lose the tank anyway. So fuck it, you may as well just retreat now.
Yeah.
Which makes it unbelievable. So of course the defenders lose points constantly, and then the attackers get 2 extra fucking minutes, it's totally lopsided in that manner. That all of the advantage is on the attackers' team. They've done nothing to fix that, even though everyone said it was this way a year ago. So it just feels like a fucking coin flip when you get into a game. You wonder whether or not you're going to wind up on the fucking winning side or the losing side, because the losing side is almost always the defenders. The only time the attackers lose is if you've got 2 caps being defended by people who are happy to sacrifice a fucking tank to make sure it stays, then you'll probably win as a defender. But that's not like a balancing thing. That's because you've got players who know how to play front lines or know how to play an objective. Mm-hmm. And because it's, randos, it's more than likely, attackers, if everyone on the attackers team is a dipshit and everyone on the defenders team is a dipshit, then the attackers will usually win. But if you've got competent players on one side, that team will be able to win if it's all dipshits on the other side. If you've got competent players on the attacker side and you're doing your best to hold defenders, you're still going to fucking lose. Every time I've won as a defender, and it's 3 times, it has been essentially the hardest fucking game I've ever played. And it's quite rewarding. But it is literally there's luck involved as well. I mean, there's RNG in how much damage you do, and I think maybe in penetration rolls and stuff like that. So there is RNG in World of Tanks. So yeah, I'm sure the fucking Lady Luck decided to make up for some of my shitty dice rolls landing at water treatment in Apex. Decided to let me fucking high roll some shit in World of Tanks and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I played it well. I know I played it well, and yeah, I walk away with a shit ton of XP, a bunch of kills, heaps of damage done, and yeah, it's that feels pretty good. It shouldn't be that way though. And there's like you will have games where you played it well and did everything right and did all the right things, but the RNG rolls didn't go your way. There were competent players on the other team, and you just get your shit pushed in and you lose. And it's like, well, fuck. There's one of the points that you can hit from basically the other side of the fucking map. One of the fucking final objectives you can get from like the fucking previous grid. There's just no way to defend that point without, I think, literally putting your tank in the way of it. And like that is literally just sacrificing a tank to nothing. Basically, it's so easy to be dicked while playing defender in that mode, and they've just done nothing to fix it, which is really annoying because I enjoy playing it. It's just I played it before this. I played it before we recorded this. I played another round. We won. I was defender as always. I think I played like one round attacking, a single fucking round attacking, and I played I think 12 or 13 games this season. I just don't know, man. Like, yeah, they got to rebalance it. Otherwise, it's just it's nobody wants to fucking lose all the time. Yeah.
I was just trying to look it up. How many players are in the normal game? Is it 15?
15 aside, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And so this brings it up to 30 versus 30?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like the map is very, the way you described it is very like MOBA-like, where you've got sort of like two sort of like lanes with
you got these three lanes,
you've got to sort of break through, and then if you break through that part you can I don't know. You describing it sound like that's what it sounds like they're sort of going for.
Yeah, if you were to think of the cap points as towers, and then the objectives at the end were the base, then yeah, that'd work. But there's no opportunity to counterplay. There's no opportunity to counterattack.
Yeah.
It's literally just attack versus defense, and then you requeue and get put on defense again. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like the they need to go with the like maybe highlight your tank if you're outside the objective area after it's moved to the next series of objectives.
Oh yeah.
And then just have it like that way. It's this thing of like, all right, now do you sacrifice a tank to waste time to like have people try and come after you now?
Yeah.
Or something like that. So
I did that successfully. I was in my defender, just sort of sitting on a fucking hill, right next to, so just outside of, so we lost, I think it was the C cap. We lost it, and I sort of just sat right outside it and started pinging tanks as they came through. And because defender's a heavy tank, it's like pretty beastly. It's like, I think it's a premium. Yeah, it is a premium tank, and it's sort of overpowered, which is semi-par for the course for the old premiums. But so the attackers sent like fucking 5 tanks at me, like. They just fucking all streamed in to come and fucking do this single defender because it's hard to pen. Like, you don't get a lot, and if you don't pen, you don't do any damage. So I was bouncing shit tons of shots. Like, they were just pinging away, which was awesome. It's got shit tons of armor, and they killed a bunch of time trying to kill me. And then by the time they got back on track, it was too late. Like, they did kill me, but by the time they got back on track to go cap F, it was too late. We'd won. That was how we won that game. I'm not going to say that me distracting 5 tanks necessarily won us the game, but all the work I did on cap C beforehand certainly did. Like, stop them from being able to like take it for 10 minutes or whatever the fuck. It felt like I did all the right things and it actually paid off for once. It usually doesn't feel that way. But yeah, if I wasn't going to get bombed, I would do the same thing as a defender. I would do the same thing, but I wouldn't leave the fucking square. Because it didn't matter that they knew I was there. I was counting on them knowing where I was. Like, it was nice to get a couple of cheap kills and some light tanks early. But, like, yeah. if they knew exactly where I was, so be it. Like that's fine. Uh, they'd still have to come and do something about me, or I just fucking pound them in the fucking tail. Yeah, I think that way would like definitely work. Making you visible would be a huge change in the way it's balanced. Because it'd definitely feel like you weren't completely fucked trying to hero stop a cap push. Because that's like I do that anyway. Because I've got fuck tons of tanks at tier 8. I've got like a bunch of premiums and stuff. So it's not like a huge deal to me. So I can lose a tank trying to hold the cap just one more second, and it doesn't really hurt me. But like if I was playing with someone who only had a fucking single tank, I don't blame them for not sacrificing their only tank and 5 more minutes of their time to try to save the cap, you know? Yeah. Anyway. I'll continue to have a look at it, but it just like, it didn't feel like they made a significant change.
Right, yeah.
That would rectify my problems with it last time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
All right, what else you got here?
Meteorfall.
That's a name.
It is a name. It's a phone game. It's a phone game, card game. It's awesome. I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about another game called something Slay the Spire. This is Slay the Spire on the phone, basically. I don't know if they deliberately copied the fuck out of it or if it's just a happy coincidence or what, but this is essentially the same thing. It's a deck building game where your entire fucking, like, you just play through and take fights and try to get the best cards you can, upgrade them, and manage your resources so that you've got the best possible deck that you can have to kill the boss at the end. It's awesome. It works really well. There's a bunch of different characters, and each character has its own sort of archetype. So it's a little bit more. It's simpler than Slay the Spire because Slay the Spire only has the 3, and while they do have their own archetypes, there are a bunch of other archetypes within those builds. But it seems to me that there is a winning strategy for Meteorfall, for each character in Meteorfall, more than in Slay the Spire. The winning strategy is to take the best stuff that you can when you can. In this, it seems more like you would build towards a specific thing, and if you don't get there, you admit that you've probably lost this run. So, for example, the first one that the first character I won a round with, I played a couple of times, it didn't work out, but then I struck upon a strategy where I was building towards having skeletons in my deck. Sure. And when you play a skeleton card, it inserts something into the enemy's deck. So they also draw, like, you play cards, but they also have a deck of cards that they play from. So it's like card versus card. If you put a bunch of skeletons into their deck, and every time they play a card, they just play the skeleton gets played straight away, and it does damage. So you're not doing direct damage to them. You're sort of doing this passive damage, but you're also taking away one of their their turns, and you're filling their deck with a bunch of useless shit. Yeah, that is literally just going to hurt them. So yeah, the strategy for that one was to get us, like, I'm like, okay, fuck that. I'm going to try again, and all I'm going to do is get skeletons. Like, I'm going to get as many fucking skeletons as I can. Just shit that I can fill their fucking deck with. And I managed to do that, and I won. It worked out quite well. There's, like, other minor things you have to, like, manage, like your own health and your stamina and stuff. When you play a card, it's worth stamina or it's worth a spell charge, and so you have to manage how many spell charges your skeletons have, because if you run out of that, you can't play the card at all, and then you're pretty fucked. So yeah, there's other cards that you put into your deck to manage that sort of stuff, like give you back stamina, give you back spell charges, stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, I was just building towards getting as many fucking skeletons as possible. And yeah, I think the boss died in a, like, it literally could not do any damage to me. Like, I played fucking, I think it was like something like 11 skeletons into his deck straight away. And it would, like, for its first fucking turn, it just drew my skeletons and just fucking ate shit. And then the second turn, I put another fucking 8 skeletons into its hand. So its deck was basically just skeletons. Like, non-stop fucking skeletons. And there's other, like, it was cool. Like, it felt like I'd solved some dumb riddle where I just murdered this shit with skeletons. And then there's other ones where you set it up so that it'll just never be able to attack at all because you've sapped all its stamina or something like that. Like, I had one where every time I attacked it, I would take away some of its stamina, and it needed stamina to be able to play cards. So it would have to play, like, it would have to pass on cards to build stamina. But I had, like, if it got to 0 stamina, it would take a shit ton of damage. And so I was just sort of setting up all these failure spots for the AI enemies to fall upon, and then I'd fuck them. I'd be able to do enough damage to kill them. There's like a regular dude where basically the entire strategy is to just pound them into the fucking dirt as quickly as possible. I finished like the run with him. It was probably my quickest because shit was dying first turn, like immediately. I was doing way more than their total health pool in like the space of no time at all. Where it gets interesting is managing your deck as a whole. You want to make sure you've got the right amount of cards, because if you have too many cards, if you have like pointless cards, you'll never get to that perfect card you need, right? If I had a bunch of stuff that would allow me to refill, like if I had fucking 6 cards that would allow me to refill spell charges, so that my skeletons would have enough spell charges, that'd be great. But I'm not like, if I draw fucking 4 of those in a row, then I didn't do any damage that turn. I'm probably gonna die, right? But so I you wind up with like, I want to have a deck of about like 10 or 11 cards. I want like 8 of them to be my primary damage dealing situation. The rest will be managing how I go about doing that. So managing stamina, or managing spell, or whatever the fuck. And that's the game. It's about building the best possible deck. So yeah, it's just about knowing the cards and knowing how to build that deck. It's a lot of fucking fun. And there's like daily challenges where they have like modifiers and stuff, like start off with extra money, or there was a really good one where any item you equipped, any item you had in your hand was automatically equipped. So you can get like armor or a sword, and you have to play that card to equip it into your hand, and then when you've got the sword equipped, you do 1 extra damage, right? But this modifier made it so that if you had like 6 fucking swords in your hand, they were all auto-equipped, so you're doing +6 damage right out of the fucking gate. And so yeah, it was just an interesting, like, sort of different play experience where you were, yeah, like seeing how goofy you could get your equipment situation to be, as opposed to maybe playing the best possible way, because you were not being able to overwhelm everything just by sheer like amount of damage that you can put out, stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
It's awesome.
Cool. It's called Meteorfall.
Meteorfall, yeah.
All right. What else is here? Objects in space.
Yeah. So we're talking about this coming out a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
By Flat Earth Games, our friends Alyssa and Lee. It's out. I figured I'd jump in and have a look at where it's come because, like I was saying, I played it in early access, but I haven't played since. Yeah, it's come quite a long way. They refined a lot of the startup situation so that you've got a way better understanding of what the fuck you're doing. They still haven't allowed you to fully reconfigure your controls, which is annoying as fuck, but sort of get used to it after enough time. Mostly I just want to be able to use WASD for a lot of my ship control shit, and space as my enter button, but it seems like enter being hard coded to the enter key seems like it's sort of locked in place because I can't seem to unfuck that one. So I instead have to play with the direction keys, so I can
old school.
Yeah, very old school. So I've got my keyboard shifted all the way across my all the way across my desk so I play this game properly.
Yeah, use the page up and page down to look up and down.
Sadly, there's no need to do that, but or sadly, thankfully, but yeah, it's good. I just play it it's a good space trucking, right? Like it is exactly what I said it was a couple of weeks ago. This sort of sub game, like submarine game in space. Yeah, you just sort of you take stuff from one place and you sell it at another, and it's like just a buy low, sell high sort of space trucking game. What's cool about it is that there's a lot of other stuff going on in this world. There's factions, different areas have different politics and stuff like that, and you're sort of going into places where, for example, they've outlawed booze altogether in one sector. So from a world building point of view, it's really interesting to see the way this society that's completely cut off from Earth has evolved. But from a space trucking magnate fucking point of view, you're like, I can bootleg some fucking booze into this place then, right? I can make some money out of this shit. It's got to be more expensive if it's outlawed. Stuff like that. It rewards you for learning more about the world and become learning how to live within its limits by incentivizing you through the reward scheme of the game itself, which is cool. It is you got to be about that space trucking life though. That's the thing, yeah. Right? I still have weapons on my little cruiser, my little spaceship. It's not there are bounties and there's pirates and stuff like that, but as it stands right now, I just run away from pirates. I haven't been successfully interdicted by a pirate yet, because it seems like the game's going kind of easy on me. They only they fire dumb weapons at me. If they were firing locked weapons, I'd probably be fucked, but at the moment, yeah, it seems like it's all dumb shit. I don't know if there is smart homing shit, to be honest, but yeah, I can pretty easily dodge some stuff. My biggest foe at the moment is actually asteroids, because I constantly set myself a waypoint to fly to the next location, and then I stop paying attention, and I'll just sort of careen into a bunch of fucking asteroids and take a shit ton of hull damage and limp my way to the next fucking space station, when if I'd been paying any attention at all, I might have been able to avoid all of the asteroids.
Sure.
But yeah, it's I find it very soothing, very peaceful. Yeah, I think I'm still in the Bambino areas, the sort of shallows. And I believe it will not be as peaceful once I get into some of the higher risk areas. But yeah, I find it's good fun. I just knock out maybe half an hour here and there Just have like do a run, take some spirits from one place to another. That's it.
Right.
Um,
Is there like a lot of reading? Because I know you're a bit not about reading in
it
games.
is there is a lot of reading. It's like there's no voice acting at all. But I don't find that like it's not done in that way that I fucking hate. It's not done in the like wordy bullshit way. It's mostly just like casual dialogue, not pretentious. It's sort of just casual dialogue, and I can scan it and pick up the info like I need, and then just fucking bounce on to whatever the fuck it is. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. Yep 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 yep.
3 eggs.
They love electronics. Ah, perfect. 3 eggs. Yeah.
Go get me 3 eggs.
um, yeah, it's good. I'm a fan, but obviously, to be clear, yeah, I'm friends with the people who made it, so don't take my review as gospel or whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool. That's available
on Steam.
on digital.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. All right. It looks like the last one we got here is the Division 2. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that's out officially, I guess today.
Yep.
I guess for people that don't know, the Division 2 is a sequel to the Division,
What?
which was it's like a third-person action shooter where the United States has had this virus unleashed on them in New York.
Bloody anti-vaxxers.
During Black Friday, through money, because everybody's using that cash money these days.
It was through measles from anti-vaxxers.
And then so yeah, in the Division, you were basically roaming around Manhattan, trying to restore order and chaos through an agency called the Division, and you played an agent who went around completing objectives. And so the
With his orange wristwatch.
Yeah, well, yeah, orange wristwatch, backpack,
Yep.
and a orange lighty thing, communicator tool.
Of course.
That's what the big circle. It's in the marketing.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you've seen it. And yeah, so Division 2 follows that up, where it takes place, I believe it's 7 months later, in Washington D.C. So we get a bit of a style change. It's no longer a cold winter in New York. It's now a sunny sort of summer in the US. So yeah, that's kind of where this one takes off. They have been pretty outspoken about saying that they've really paid attention to endgame content and wanted to focus a lot on that sort of stuff, which is something we haven't really seen much of lately.
Yeah.
I guess in a lot of like loot shooters or loot driven games like Destiny, Anthem. What else is there? I don't know. Even going back as far as games like Diablo and things like that, it's not really the emphasis that companies really put on this type of stuff. It's more like we'll put out the main game, and then we'll focus on that stuff.
Yeah.
A couple months from now. I guess the issue ends up being that like some people really enjoyed the content, and then they blast through it within the span of a week, and they get to the end, and they're like, all right, now what? And there's not a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the big problems with not just the Division, but the other games that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they basically said, like, we've worked on that. We're looking into it. We've taken everything we've learned from the Division 1. And we jumped back into the Division 1 last year. I liked what I saw from the change they put in there. I liked a lot of the game modes that was in there. I thought there was a lot more content, which was really good, and so it seemed like they were doing some good stuff. I went to the 5-hour preview that they had just before, which they showed off like a small snippet of one or two of the pieces of content they were doing. That was excluding the other 3 or 4 preview sessions that they had recently about other content. So it seems like they've listened and they're going for it. But in saying that, I guess what we'll talk about is the main sort of part of the game. We got codes early.
Yep.
So the game, the servers went up about 3 days ago,
Mm.
and we've been playing since then. We've been playing a little bit since then, so we can't really talk about the end game content as of yet. I guess we can get to that a bit later on, and we can then start talking about like Dark Zone and how that sort of changed. But I guess our initial impressions will be on how that main sort of gameplay loop has evolved from then. To give you some idea of how far into it I am, I've played about 25 hours so far. I am at level 20. I'm about halfway through level 27.
Jesus.
Around 28. The level cap is level 30.
Yeah.
Man, I'm fucking loving this game a lot. I think it's really good. I think they've made some really good changes in there. I like the world is. I really like the world a lot. The last game it felt very samey, like, and I've talked about this before, like each street looked the fucking same. You were walking down a street in New York and everything was laid out in a grid, whereas Washington is, you get these open spaces and you get like parks that you go through, and like these wide open areas, and things aren't flat. It's not like just a flat area. There's some elevation to certain bits and pieces. You're climbing up and around scaffolding and walls and into parking lots and through buildings. It feels like the world is a lot better. And then like translating that into the actual missions. Some of the missions in there, like the main missions that you go through, the levels are really good. The like the look of them and the layout they've got. I don't think, because you've played not as much as I have, but there are like levels in there that really stand out to me. And there are other people that we've played with where they've gotten to that same level and been like, fuck, this level's really cool, like saying that out loud. I'm like, yeah, man, this is like one of the favorite levels that I've played so far. It's really good. And then even last night when I was playing more, I got into like, because it's Washington DC, they take you around to the monuments and the historical places in
Landmarks.
Washington. Yeah, and you go there. Like I went. I won't talk about like too much like story stuff because it's not a big deal anyway. But there is a mission in like the Air and Space Museum, and I went to that place, 5 months ago, and did a tour. Like went into that museum and walked around, and like playing that in the game, it's fucking like the amount of detail they go into that sort of stuff, and just being able to like see things that are in there and being like, holy shit, like all this stuff is in the right spot. Obviously it's not all exactly the same, like you don't go in there and all the rooms are the same sort of thing, but the main big rooms, you've got the same sort of model planes that are in the right locations, and they do cool things with the way you walk through there and things that are happening around you. So I think the world building in that game has definitely stepped up quite a lot. It doesn't feel as boring or bland. I think the Division 1 was an extremely pretty game.
Yeah.
It looked amazing. Visually, it looked outstanding. But they've taken it to another level with giving it a bit more like... just making it feel a bit better. Like giving it some more life. It's just not like, here's another narrow street. Like different areas kind of feel a little bit more different as you sort of progress through the game as well, which is cool. Walking down, going through the White House, or going and seeing Abraham Lincoln, and just things like that. It's. I think it's really cool. For me, for someone who has been there recently and being able to be around that area as well, it's just a really cool aesthetic. I feel like. So, but on top of that, I really like the gameplay as well. It doesn't try to hide what it is. It's a fucking shooting game. Like, you are shooting a lot of things in that game for most of the time. And I think I really like the shooting mechanics. I still really like the cover mechanics. It's got the same sort of thing where you can move your cursor to bits of cover, and then you can press a button and they'll run over to that cover while sort of making their profile a bit lower. And it just means that you can quickly move around bits of the area, the environment, quite easily, while still having like a low profile and getting into different areas of movement and trying to take on bad guys. So I like a lot of the weapons in there. I've experimented with different stuff. Like, I started off the game being like, I'm going to use an assault rifle, and a shotgun, because that seems like a good combination. And then I later on was like, oh, I'm going to use a sniper rifle. And then I really liked the sniper rifle as my secondary. And then I got to the point where I was using an LMG at one stage, and I thought that was amazing. And then now I'm using like a combination of an assault rifle and an LMG. Like, it seems like every, you know, six levels or so, I'm changing up the weapons that I'm using and the way that I'm approaching it, which is really different to the way I usually play like loot games. I'm always like, here's the fucking gun that I use. I'm gonna just use that, or this, you know, sword or whatever it is. I'm guessing eventually you get to a place where you're like, oh, this is like the gun that I like.
This is my build.
This feels the best. Yeah, so I'm gonna use this. But at least the guns to me feel different. In terms of like from an assault rifle to an LMG or things like that. When you get like a police M4 or whatever you want to call it, that's a level 4, and then you get a police M4 that's a level 14, the differences between them aren't huge. Like, you're looking at damage increases, stability might be a bit different, accuracy could be different, but generally the feel of it will be the same, because it's not, you know, it's not different in that terms. But when you use that, like an assault police M4 compared to an AK, they feel different. Or that compared to an LMG feels.
Are you using mods yet?
Mods on the guns for some of them, yeah. I don't like the mod system for the weapons at the moment. I don't know if it gets different.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
They've changed it from last time, where the mods are now have a positive and a negative. So it'll be, for instance, you've got 10 extra rounds in this magazine, but the stability is decreased by 10%. So do you want extra rounds, or do you want a negative on your stability? Or it'll be like 10% extra crit damage for elites, but the reload time is 0.3 seconds longer or something like that.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different mods that you can unlock, and so you can sort of pick and choose what you want to go with. But generally at the moment, I feel like they're a bit useless for the gameplay that we're playing at the moment. Maybe that sort of changes later on when you start doing raids or whatever, and you want to start gearing up for things like, well, I don't really need stability because I can manage that myself, so I'll go with the 10% extra damage on enemies. So that sort of stuff might come into play, but otherwise, the way that it's set up in the moment, I'm not a big fan of, because it used to be like you would attach mods and they would be the same sort of like loot-driven system where, hey, you've got a purple angle grip or something like that, and like, hey, this does this sort of stuff now. But it seems like they've really stepped back on weapon mods and just had them more like, here's a 8 times scope, but it, you know, which means that you can see further, but it decreases, I don't know,
increase the recoil.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I'm not a fan of that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't like that part. But the shooting I really enjoy. There's just a lot about the game that I really like, and it's really hooked me in. The missions, the way the sort of world is set up is a bit different. The game is sort of split up into main missions, side missions, and then you've got settlements and safe houses. The settlements have like these projects that you go out and complete, so you're bringing back resources or going out and doing missions, and then when you complete a project, it gives you things like experience or blueprints to create certain weapons or certain attachments or mods. So it means that you can go and just mainline the game if you want to, but you can go out and also explore the area and level up these settlements if you want to. There are sort of dynamic events that are happening out in the world. You run into people that have been taken hostage, people scavenging for food supplies. You'll have outposts that have been taken over that you need to recapture, maybe friendly outposts that are being attacked. I'm still playing, like, at this stage of the game, I'm still running into new events that sort of start unlocking slowly, and then they start populating the world even more. There are people out in the world that are patrolling, like part of your faction that are patrolling the area. You can go and help them go do tasks. You'll just run into them. They'll be like, hey, these guys are going looking for food. You can tag along with them, and they get excited, and they'll go off and look for food, and then you can go and sort of like guard them and bring them back and do that sort of stuff. There are the enemies do exactly the same thing. Sometimes you'll run into that, like they'll be doing a food run patrol, and then you can just jump them and take their food and just steal it. That stuff starts to unlock later on, and you see like sort of like routes showing up in your map, like which areas they're going through. Things, yeah, it's just, it seems to sort of slowly throw you these different gameplay mechanics or different like things you could do in the world, and then as you progress, then it starts populating that stuff even more throughout the area. So it starts off pretty basic, like, hey, here's control points and go do them, or here's a propaganda tower. And then as you go through the game, it starts giving you more and more things to do, and those areas, the entire map starts filling up with this stuff, which is really cool. So I think there's a lot to do in there, and that's aside from going out and getting, there's like hidden caches within the world that allows you to level up your abilities. There are like other things I don't want to spoil, but there are things in the world that you can go and find, and it's like the weird shit that you would see in like I don't know, like a Red Dead Redemption sense, where it's like, holy fuck, did you come across this thing? Like, what does this mean, and what does it do? And trying to discover what this thing actually is intended for. Like, are you reading into it too much, or is there actually a thing around it? And yeah, there are things like that out in the world that you can just discover, and as you try and figure out what it's trying to tell you, then it leads to these other moments in the game. And they're not really missions per se, but they're just things that you'll come across, and if you manage to do the thing it's asking you to do, it'll open up this whole other thing for you to go and accomplish. Sort of like the let's think about like Red Dead when we were doing the vampire stuff. Like, that wasn't a mission, but it was just something in the world that you go and find.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. Like, there's stuff spread out throughout the world that's not indicated as it's a mission, but if you go and figure out what it's trying to tell you to do, then it'll give you stuff out of it. And I think that stuff is really cool, and like Easter eggy type missions, which is fun. The enemy types I really dig, like the way that the factions have their own sort of like behaviors, and the way that they approach certain situations, or just like, it starts off pretty basic, like the dude with he's got a vest on, and you can shoot him in the head and he'll go down pretty quickly. And then they'll throw it like these ladies at you that have helmets on, like riot gear, and they take a bit more of a beating, but they kind of rush at you with batons, and they can sort of I don't know, they like jack themselves up and they get an extra health boost. And then they start throwing at you guys that have like full-on body armor kits, and then they get guys later on that look like fucking giant tank man. You end up with people with flamethrowers and rocket launchers, grenade launchers, sledgehammers. Like, I'm even at the point I'm at now where they keep throwing different types of enemies at you, and these guys have different like abilities or ways that they approach it. There's guys with drones that have like explosives on them, or fucking chainsaws attached to them. Yeah, they just keep throwing different enemy types at you, and some of them have like weak spots. You've got to try and figure out what their thing is. Sometimes it's on their back, sometimes it's on the front of them. They might have a canister on their side that you need to shoot at that'll stagger them. It's about like figuring out how to approach certain situations. Like, they start off pretty basic, like, here's a couple of generic mobs, and then they'll throw some purples at you, and then maybe two, yellow bosses, and they're the guys with the big armor that you've got to shred their armor away. Do you focus on their body armor, or do you go for the head? Do you go for the flank and try and stagger them on the weak spot? So yeah, I really like the approach they've taken to throwing in different types of enemies at you, because there's stacks, and I'm still running into stuff even where I'm at the moment, where I'm just like, all right, here's a new person, how do I deal with this thing that they've thrown at me, which is really cool. What else is there? I don't know. I like the I've played a lot with other people. Played a bit with you. Played a bit with Kleb. When I was playing with you guys, I was probably like 10 levels above you, and the way it was, I think the way they've handled the sort of scaling now works really well. Like you can play with other people that are different levels to you. I was playing with Kleb as well, and he was like 15 levels below me. We were having I was just running around with him doing his missions for a while, to the point where eventually he caught up in terms of like the main missions I was at. So we were then running main missions together.
Cool.
And that stuff that worked really well. So yeah, I really dig the scaling that they've done with it. It works, I think, excellent. Haven't seen any problems with that one. Yeah, man, I'm loving this game a lot, and I'm excited to see what happens in endgame, like running some Dark Zone stuff or getting to the strongholds, because I can't do strongholds yet. I'm not high enough level.
Right.
And I haven't touched any of the multiplayer conflict stuff yet.
Yeah.
I'm still doing just like the first, I think, 6 hours of that game. I did like 2 main missions. I was running around just exploring, because there's just so much stuff around the place that it throws at you. Yeah, I dig it a lot.
Cool.
A lot. I think you've played a bit.
Yeah.
What are you thinking so far?
I like it. I still find the enemies to be too spongy for my ultimate liking. There are a couple of enemies, I just don't feel like I'm getting enough information as to what I'm doing wrong in trying to kill them or whatever the fuck. There are like some icons that I still don't really fucking get, and the game has never attempted to try to explain them. I honestly wonder if they were explained in Division 1, and it's just assumed that I know what the fuck it means, or whatever the fuck. This armor-breaking icon that will... Like, there was an enemy that we were fighting, and I was literally just fucking emptying into his fucking head, and it was just doing this, like, armor break, armor break, armor break, armor break, armor break. But his armor wasn't going anywhere, and he wasn't taking any damage, so I'm like, well, cool. I'm out of fucking ideas. I don't know how the fuck to kill him. Yeah, it was a bit beyond me, I guess. Yeah, he just seems to take infinity fucking damage. I don't think there should be anyone in the fucking game who can take infinity fucking damage. There's no armor that exists that is that fucking powerful.
That's why it breaks.
But it wasn't breaking.
It does, though. You just have to keep hitting it. And then it'll eventually break, and that's the weak point. Like,
sometimes. Well, then it's too fucking spongy. Like, that was way too fucking spongy. Some of that shit was taking way too much fucking damage before it'd fucking break. Like, literally clips of fucking... And I understand that I got shitty fucking guns, but, like... Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like...
But are you talking about this run that we were playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured out what was wrong.
What?
You put it on hard.
Right.
We, because after we dropped out, Kleb and I went back in, and immediately, like, the first section that Kleb and I did, Kleb was like, Joab had this on hard, didn't he? I was like, I think so. And then I went back and watched my shadow play, and you had it on hard.
Gold.
Which is why we were fucking getting down so easily.
That explains why we were getting down so easily, but, like... I still find it pretty spongy every other aspect of the fucking game, though. Like, I'm not just talking about that one run. That one run was definitely... That dude took a fucking... Like, seemed invincible. But, like, I've definitely run into other yellow named enemies who have taken way too much of a fucking beating before they just drop. You know, like... I don't know. It just doesn't... I don't know why it has to be that way. Especially when... Yeah, like, I've been over this before... I think the loot chaser game is about the pursuit of the power fantasy, and I don't know how this conveys the power fantasy if everyone takes fucking 4 billion. Like, it's
they're only the elites. Like, the normal dudes take like 3 or 4 bullets and they're dead.
They take more than that. Like, they take 2 fucking sniper shots to the fucking head. Seems like
I'm doing like...
Every cunt roll around and fucking... Yeah, because you're 2 levels above me at all times. Because I get...
It doesn't matter. They scale all the missions to whatever level I'm at.
I get scaled up to 2 levels below you. So, yeah, it doesn't matter if, like... what you're doing, what damage you're doing, because you're above the level requirement. It's scaled to the middle between us. If you're level 17, I get scaled up to level 15, and all the enemies are level 16. There's still two fucking sniper shots to kill a cunt, like two headshots. It's just ridiculous to me. Like, it's a sniper rifle, and that was a headshot. It should be fucking dead, right? Like every fucking time. It shouldn't be some sort of fucking mind bender. Like, just fucking kill these fucks. Jesus. Especially because these are ostensibly the real world. These are real world locations with human enemies with real world weapons. And it's a Tom Clancy game, so it should be just fucking dropping cunts, fucking ping, 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 Rainbow Six up in this place. Because that's what I fucking don't get. Is that in Diablo you melt fucking hundreds of skeletons all at once, and the only thing that actually throws you any fucking curveballs is when you're going up against the Lord of Demons. And you're like, oh yeah, this shit's pretty hairy. Like, this shit's popping off here. But like, it's not as bad as Division 1. They're not wearing fucking board shorts and fucking going around shirtless, being invincible and shit. But like, there's still like an inexplicable amount of fucking people who have managed to find body armor in the city of Washington, D.C., in the Division 2, who all take fucking 16 fucking shots from fucking sniper rifle just to stagger a little bit, just to be like, oh, someone's shooting at me. Meanwhile, I get fucking punted all over the fucking place the moment I tuck my head out of out of cover.
You're not wearing a giant shield on your head.
Why aren't I wearing a giant shield on my head? Where the fuck is my giant shield? Anyway, ultimately, loot chasers, to me, are supposed to be about the pursuits of the power fantasy. And so, every time I need 6 clips to kill a single fucking dude in this game, I'm like, at what point do I become powerful? Right? Like, what do I have to do to feel like I am powerful in this world state? Because I cannot fucking picture it. Because the game is balanced, is constructed in such a way as to never really allow that to happen.
No, but I think you've got this like opinion that you should be murdering everybody, but you're complaining about the bosses in the game taking...
I'm not complaining about the bosses. I'm talking about regular dudes.
The regular dudes go down fucking so easily. Like, I'm playing this game, they go down, they're just cannon fodder, and then you get to your purples who take a couple extra shots if you just shoot them in the head or you shred their armor. But the big guys, the bosses, they're the ones that you need to figure out, like, where am I shooting these guys? Where should I be? What am I aiming for?
Let's see if I've got some footage of this game. So I think I do.
Because I'm melting people.
Because you are a level above everyone. That's what I'm saying.
No, but I'm not playing with anybody else. I'm playing by myself the majority of this game.
So then you're playing against people who are the same level as you. I'm playing the entire fucking game against enemies that are at least a level above me. Like, theoretically like more, because it's a scaling system. Yeah, but like, who fucking knows? Like, Anthem's got a scaling system where it's the more clothes you take off, the fucking more powerful you become. Like, there's every chance that the Division has fucked this shit up, is all I'm saying. And I'm not fucking super thrilled with how it fucking feels. It should be me walking in. I'm supposed to be fucking super secret agent Division guy. I should be fucking John Wicking my way through the fucking regular dudes. And, like, yeah, there's Common at the end. I got to fight Common at the end, and then shit pops off. Then shit's getting hairy. Or what's her face? Ruby Rose. So I got to fight Ruby Rose at the end of the fucking level, and then
why would you fight her?
To kill her, obviously. Yeah, and then then shit pops off. Those are the assassins, and everyone else is just pop, 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 pop. Everyone dies, right? Like, that's not what that doesn't happen. I guarantee you're not killing anyone with a fucking pistol in that game, because
you can compete with pistols.
Oh yeah, like John Wick can.
Yeah.
One bullet.
I don't know about that.
Not even close.
I
Not
even
fucking close. I bet you can't. Yeah, it just I don't know, man. It doesn't feel right, and it's driving me fucking bananas. But I still like it. I enjoy playing it, but I am very wary of the thought that the only reason I enjoy playing it is because I'm playing with you, and that is it. It's not me enjoying the Division Two. It's me enjoying hanging out with my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think is going on, and the Division Two is a casual distraction along the way or something like that. Because yeah, I enjoy the bits that aren't shooting. I enjoy I actually really like the urban exploration portion of that game and finding new places to go and like hunting down SHD tech and all that kind of shit. I
Yeah.
reckon that's fucking sick.
I
So like the shooting.
there was a moment early on for me where I came across a dude who was in a fight or was like had been taken hostage, and I killed the guys that had taken him. And he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then he ran off, and I followed him, and he like jumped through a building window, and then ran through, and then opened a door, and then shut it behind him. And I'm like, "The fuck?" And then so I like followed him, jumped through the window, and there was like a whole area that I could go exploring in.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of
like,
a lot
what
of
the heck?
space you would never fucking look at all
Yeah,
in in the game. Like a lot of indoor environments that I just did not expect. And there's usually a little bit of payoff as well. Like there's some loot there or something like that. Yeah, I reckon
yeah,
I reckon they've done a really good job of building out the game world in a way that I definitely didn't see any of in the Division One.
right.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
so going to your power fantasy thing, I'm
sure.
starting to get uh, oranges. I'm not sure what they're called in the game. I think they're called superiors
Right.
or superior weapons. So I'm starting to get a couple of those that gear now. I think I've got four, like two pieces of gear and two weapons.
Yeah.
So the AK that I'm rocking has a special ability, or I can't remember what they're called, but it's like a perk.
Sure.
And if I can kill somebody that's within 7 meters of me, then I get, I think it's like a 50% bonus damage for 5 seconds or something like that. So it's doing that sort of
That's
thing.
pretty good.
But
That's not that useful on an AK, but
but my secondary, my LMG that I'm rocking, which is apart from the one that I've been playing with the other parts of the game, because I'm really liking the LMG. The whole like 100 rounds, and the more you shoot, the more accurate it gets. So you could just like it takes like between 4 to 5 seconds to reload some of these guns, but
Yeah.
then you can get like the attachment that's like, hey, you can reload quicker, that sort of thing. But I like the LMGs because it's got a lot of bullets and you can just shred everything. But this LMG that I got, I think it's 45 rounds, around 50 rounds, and if I use up all the ammo in the bullet belt and reload when there's no ammo in, and I get 50 I think it's 50% fire rate, and then extra damage. I can't remember if it's like 25% extra damage for like 7 seconds.
jeez.
But with the extra fire rate, the bullets are gone by the time
Yeah.
like that 7 seconds are up. So I just sit there like destroying people.
Yeah, awesome.
So that sort of stuff is really like getting to that tier of weapons is like, oh shit, yeah, let's do it. Like what can I get? What are some of the cool
Yeah, that might be it too.
effects?
You know, like because I get scaled up to you, but the loot is tiered for my actual level. I like you guys are all getting fucking blues and shit, and I was still like half
Greens.
whites, some greens, and I'm like, this feels like a bit of a crotch punch
Yeah,
because I can
think when
see
we were
everything
playing-
you guys are getting as well. Like I can, it comes up like you got this and this and this, and
totally.
I'm like, well, I got a pair of gloves.
Blue cosmetic gloves,
Yeah, yay!
some sneakers, some
yeah.
brown pants. I think it was one of the ones.
Brown pants was that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do this other thing where the last game they got rid of the like the core system where you had electronics damage. Can't remember what they were. Now they've got like armor damage and skill power.
Yep.
It's or it could be health. one of those, and then they've got gear has attributes, but it'll be like you need to have four armor power to be able to activate this skill thing, or like less than 4. And then so you start like micromanaging, all right, do I want to focus on skill power and get my skill power up, and then I can attach all these mods to my to my sentry or my drone that flies around.
Oh yeah.
It seems to be like at the moment I'm focusing more on damage and armor, and so my skill power is quite low, so I can't attach like mods to my turrets because that's not what I'm focusing on. I guess that's sort of like that balance of, am I going to be a mage, or am I going to go like a rogue or a tank type thing?
Yeah.
And then being like, well, okay, well, if you're doing that, then I'm going to lock you out of magic if you want to be a tank. It seems to be playing with that a little bit more, but as I'm getting higher and higher, I'm starting to get more points. So there could be a point in the game where it's like, all right, you can put like a mod on there, but it's not a powerful, like a super powerful mod. Like you can't put a purple on there, but maybe you can put a green on there, and that'll give you a little bit. But that's only because you've focused on this path. You can obviously change it if you want to, and all you need to do is just change out your gear set.
Right.
Focus on that part, but otherwise, yeah. So that bit is really interesting. Like, where do you want to go down? Do you want to be the guy that does a lot of damage and that has a lot of health? I was running a build last night where whenever I killed somebody, I would get like 220 armor. I had like a mod in my backpack or something. So every time I killed someone, I would get armor. And so I didn't really have to focus on sitting behind cover and throwing my heals down. At that stage, maybe I could have been like, I'm going to replace my healing kit for another damage because I'm getting damage I'm getting armor while I'm killing things. So I really need heals. So that's like different builds that I haven't even thought about yet that you could go into playing with. Things like that. So yeah, I'm really liking all the different ways that you can sort of approach it. Because I was going down that path of like, I'm going to use sniper rifle and just headshot people.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for quite a while. I like the sniper rifle. And I'll probably get to that bit maybe later on when it unlocks the 3 specialists.
Yeah, you got,
demolition, sharpshooter, and survivalist. Maybe I'll pick the sniper and I'll have that as like my 3rd backup gun.
Yeah.
And just run like a shotgun or LMG. I don't know. Like, I want to see.
I don't know why you'd get rid of the LMG if you've got the fucking. Sounds like a fucking minigun.
It's cool. It's really cool. But again, I'm not at the level cap yet.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
Still, like,
can you upgrade a gun?
I don't know.
That'd be cool if you could, like, if you found your favorite fucking gun, you can. Yeah, why not? Right? Like that'd be sick.
I feel like there's got to be something in there because, the first gun that I got was an exotic, but it was a level 1, and it's like, what's the point of even having this? It seems dumb. I don't know. So maybe there is a system in there. I just haven't unlocked it. But yeah, it's really cool. So maybe that's the point where it's like it starts giving you stupid powers where you can just go shred people.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm not John Wick shit because I'm not level 30 or whatever the fuck. That sort of makes sense, but it doesn't make like I don't know. I just don't feel powerful enough. I will keep playing it. I do want to like. There's all kinds of stuff that I want to actually see in the game. So yeah, I continue to play it. I have enjoyed playing it. Yeah, I just don't feel fucking powerful enough. So it makes me wonder if it'll have enough long term to keep me interested. You know,
because like you'll get to a point. It's that I don't know, like action games do it where they throw a boss at you and then you're like, oh fuck, this thing's a bit tough, and then later on in the game they're just like regular enemies.
Oh,
like,
Dark Souls, the Dark Souls game bit where it's so, like, yeah, you thought the Capra demon was tough, now there's fucking 80 of them.
Yeah. And so the thing you were talking about where you're like, I'm running into these yellow guys and I'm not doing any damage and I don't know where I should be shooting. It's like, to me, I'm like, I know where I should be shooting those guys. And they're throwing like 4 of them at me, and they're sort of like regular enemies now because I'm just melting them. And now they throw like super elites at you, and those guys are like problems for me. Or even some of the other enemies that they throw at you later on is like, I'm like, I got up to one point last night, and I'm like, this dude is just fucking destroying me. So yeah, I'm really digging it. I've been playing a lot of it solo. I've jumped into some games obviously with you guys.
Yeah.
Jumped into some games with Kleb. I think the scaling, yeah, as I said, worked really well. I'm interested to like get a crew together at one point and like let's go play some Dark Zone, or let's play this on hard, or let's go do some bounties, because I've unlocked bounties now, which are like the last game. I think there's like they were doing like dailies where you'd go and complete it on a certain level and it'd give you a crate or some shit. But now I think there's like actual bounties, like people in the world you can go out and find. And
Yeah, we did one, right?
Yeah,
The meat wagon or whatever the fuck it was. We just went hunted that dude down.
So I think you're given that stuff after completing certain missions or bounties or like helping people in the world, which is cool. That's just like another thing of like, hey, you did this thing, now it's gonna give you something else to do. That stuff's interesting. But I think the daily bounty is just like a daily quest in a MMO.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. Cool.
I don't know what else to say about it that I can think of at the moment. Oh, the clan system.
Don't really get it. We've got a clan, right?
Yeah, we've got it. You need 4 people in clan. I'm not a huge fan of the challenges and like the way it gets you to do stuff. It seems like it's very geared towards it wanting you to have a full fucking clan of 50 people.
Right.
Each week there are a series of, I think, like 10 challenges you need to complete, and when you complete them you get weekly gear, caches and whatnot. And some, like, if you were like, I'm gonna have a clan with my friends, me and 4 buddies, we really like the Division, I feel like if you were going to do that you would have a hard time completing some of these challenges.
It'd just be for the tags or something.
Yeah.
So you can have a clan tag.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's a and I don't know if they're weekly challenges for global, or if it's just like a dice roll and you get like, this is what you managed to roll this week. Because one of the ones we've got is like win 250 matches of conflict, like a conflict mode. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. And there are other ones in there that are like complete 150 projects. And it's like, all right, unless I literally have 30 to 50 people in my clan, I'm going to struggle with that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think that they need to reevaluate that stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're sort of on the right point with it. Like there are vendors you can unlock as you gain experience. Like you're contributing towards your weekly experience as a clan, and that unlocks stuff for you. So I mean, they're on the right path, but it just seems some of it is geared more towards how many people are in your clan.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, not then. It's not geared towards how many people are in your clan. It's geared towards, we want you to maximize
sheer numbers,
50 people. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else that you've played in there that you wanted to talk about?
Sure, crashed a lot.
For you,
it was, yeah. It was fucking crashing.
You upgraded your drivers?
Yeah, I updated my drivers. Still gave me one more. No, it was a sound bug where I just lost all sound. Did that. That was pretty fucking annoying. But
I feel like I had that in a beta or something once.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's not that big a deal.
I've had one problem.
It's about time that I had a game that was crashing a lot, because I feel like I've dodged
a
lot of crashes that other people have had. So yeah.
You should have went ATI, AMD.
That's right. That's it. Should have
one
gone.
crash that I had was the one we had as a group, which was
that was like fucking worst. We all
crashed
so fucking far through that fucking mission.
Yeah.
Oh,
the random dude that we were reviving.
Oh, it was so bad. Constantly. He spent like seriously 90% of that fucking mission either downed or straight dead. I could not understand how. He must have been a bot. That's what I thought. He must be some sort of like learning disabled machine learning bot. Like,
but also that was the one we were playing on hard.
That's true.
And he probably didn't realize we were playing on hard, and so he would just run in.
Yeah.
And get murdered.
Get fucking. But you'd think after like the fucking 16th time we're getting punted, like, you wouldn't fucking face check every cunt in the fucking room. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So yeah, other than that one crash that we had as a group, which is weird.
It was like a server crash.
yeah, but it like crashed the entire game.
I wasn't
That's
feeling. I felt like shit that night too. Like I have not felt that bad in a long time. So I was pretty much done as it was. I think I bailed
right.
at when it crashed. But I was like sitting there thinking, "Fucking hell, I don't think I can do this." I just felt like completely loopy. Like there was like some sort of nitrogen gas leak in this place or some shit. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I was thrown. It was weird. Yeah. Thought I was coming down with something, like getting sick.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was fine. Whatever. Don't worry
Right.
about it. Yeah. Anyway, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like it a lot. I'm keen to see some Endgame
Yeah.
and what they've done with that, and get into some of the content there. See what it's all about. Um, yeah, like I said, Dark Zone. I'm interested to see if that is any good. I'm hoping it is. And yeah, strongholds, and then like raids. Keen to get some raids going, man. At some
Hmm.
stage. Well, like if it's any good, because the stuff that they had in Division One was pretty shit.
Well,
It wasn't. I can't remember what they were called, but they were pretty bad. The stuff that I did like was the horde mode. I thought that was fantastic. The
right.
horde mode they had in there, like the going through these maze-like areas and spending coins to unlock weapons and different sections of the map was great. And I
Nice.
hope that's in there still. I haven't checked.
Right. Cool.
But yeah, I dig it a lot. We've got a Gap
I'm
clan.
gonna go piss. Keep
It's
talking.
called the Gap Podcast. If you want to go check out the clan page, I've got it set to, I believe, private at the moment. So if you want to jump in, just do a search for that. It's on PC under Oceania, and either Joab or myself will get an invite to let you in, and you can jump in and earn us all some points and some cool gear, and then we can play some games, maybe some raids at some stage. So yeah, should be a lot of fun. Seems like we've got quite a few people jumping on PC over the next couple of days, so we should have a decent crowd going and stuff there.
I'm back, baby.
Hmm.
Sweet. Where's your
All right.
whiskey, Luke?
I'm drinking water. I'm out of water.
It's whiskey time.
It's whiskey day. Yeah.
All right.
Don't have any. Yeah. I guess we'll talk about Division more next week. It
Oh,
seems
yeah.
like it'll be a game that we'll keep slogging through.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Should we do some news?
Yep.
Because there is a bunch here.
Yes.
What do we
there
got?
is.
All right, so this one we talked about, I believe, last week. There was some rumors going around that, well, it wasn't a rumor. Gearbox is having a theater presentation at PAX East, and that seemed a bit strange because what would they have been announcing there? We're sort of speculating it could be Borderlands 3.
Yep.
It seems to be pretty much all but confirmed. They put up an image on their Twitter page with a date that had March 28th, I believe, which is one of the day of the theater presentation. And it had Boston, Massachusetts in there, which is where PAX East is. And this is all set up in an art style that very much is a Borderlands art style, right?
Yep.
You'd call it that. So this one seems to be pretty locked in. Yeah, man. I'm pumped for a Borderlands game.
Yeah. We were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, right? With the whole fucking loot shooter thing.
Yeah.
What certain loot shooters do right, and Borderlands has always done its particular style really well. Borderlands 1 and 2 were fucking stellar, and I have extreme amounts of faith that Borderlands 3 is going to fucking rule, and I'm going to play the fuck out of it. I am so fucking excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, I think last night or something, because we were talking about this in maybe Discord, but like hoping the way that they look at loot in it, like is it going to be instance per player or is it going to be free for all?
It
Like
better
the
be a
way that we
fucking free
used.
for all. If it's not a free for all, I'm gonna fucking riot. I'm gonna 100% riot because that is core. That is core Borderlands. There better be free for all loot, and the other thing is when you're transitioning between areas, it better be everyone has to accept, and if you cancel it right at the last second, you have to do it all over again. Those are my favorite
Classic
trolley horseshit bullshit things to do in Borderlands, and I better fucking get to see them. Oh man, no. Seriously though, free for all loot I think is critically important. I know it is a terrible experience if you're playing with randoms, but playing with friends and the loot system, like the fucking chaos that produces, is out of control. It's some of my favorite shit. So
Yeah. Would you rather them see like would you rather them leave it as that, have a dice roll in there, or go like the way that all the games are done now, where it's like instance loot per player?
what's how dice roll? What do you
Well,
mean?
like the MMO Warcraft,
Oh,
where like you need
roll for loot.
yeah, like you if you want this exotic weapon, you have to roll for it. And
Uh,
every like you can be like, I
I
don't need
reckon
it
that.
because I don't like grenade launchers.
Okay, I think that would be a pretty good middle ground
Yeah.
on the whole situation. Like, I think it'd be an acceptable because you can still always roll neat.
Yeah, because you can sell it for money.
So you can still have that dickishness, right? Because like at the end of the day, right? I love like fucking balls in, straight in, and stealing all the fucking loot as fast as I can, and then like giving people stuff, right? Like throwing it to my peasants. Here you go. Here's a machine pistol. Ah, yes, yes. You have been a good servant. Here, have this shotgun. That shit's hilarious. And then, like, as soon as someone's like, "Dude, I need like, my weapon is 6 levels behind. I need something good." I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's the
He's a
other.
Mozambique.
Yeah, here's another person big. Don't worry about it. This one's up to spec." No, I give out the good stuff, right? Like, it's just about being a dick, and I think the loot race is 1,000% part of the fun. I think, yeah, it's just infinitely amusing to me. So I think it has to be in there. But I think a dice roll, a need greed system would be a happy middle ground. Because, yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't still roll fucking need on shit. And it would, like, I guess you'd have to. Yeah, it would be tricky in random games. I think it'd still be pretty tough to deal with in random games.
I'm not
But
playing that game with randoms anyway.
that's basically my philosophy as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about the Division, like, I'm interested to see what their end game is, because Borderlands to me was always like, all right, I'm at the end, now start again,
Yeah.
and play it on hard. Like each time you restarted that game, it would scale the difficulty up. Like, what is their solution for end game content? Are they going to do that same sort of thing, go down the like Diablo route where it's, you know, you're playing on Nightmare 4 now, or is there going to be like raid stuff with?
You know,
Is that
I
gonna be in
never
there?
like I've only ever played through twice, like on New Game Plus once,
Yeah.
right? I've played through both of the Borderlands 1 and 2. I've played through multiple fucking times, like probably 5 to 10 each. But I've never gone beyond New Game Plus. So it's like I don't. It doesn't. It's not interesting to me past that point. There is still that power fantasy in Borderlands that still exists in New Game Plus, where you are just doing as much damage as humanly possible. And I think post New Game Plus, it doesn't scale as well. It doesn't
Right.
scale in the same way. And so it turns into a game where you are just sort of melting psychos left and right.
Yep.
So I do think that it's not necessarily that important. There were a couple of big boss fights, like world boss fights, that you had to go and search out, like that giant worm and stuff in Borderlands. But to me, they were always pretty self-contained experiences. I will be interested to see if they actually go for the games as a service thing, you know, because they always seem pretty happy to just have the Borderlands situation. You know, you played Borderlands, you didn't play. This wasn't some ongoing, ever persisting thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That will be of great interest to me, whether they feel the need to conform to the pressures of how games work these days.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they do. They were. I mean, you think about it, they were sort of the first ones that did that sort of style, like a loot shooter. There's always been loot games, but they were the ones that did it, like the shooting aspect first.
Yeah.
So maybe it turns around and they're like, well, we did it this way. We're going to copy your service. We're going to put raids in there and
The reason I wonder if they get away with not doing that is because I haven't felt like any of the people who ostensibly copied them ever did it well.
Yeah, that's good.
Anywhere near as good as what they did.
Story stuff was always like,
yeah, exactly.
Whereas that's like one of the strong points of that series. Borderlands is the story.
But Borderlands is also sort of like focused on you going from one place to another to another to another to another. Like there was like a linear progression. It was huge, but like there was sort of a driving path for you to go down. Whereas I've never felt the same way about Destiny or the Division. I guess you would go from one, you know, this area that you're appropriately leveled to the next one, but yeah, it didn't really feel like. I guess Destiny had you going from planet to planet, right? But yeah, it didn't really feel the same way. It just felt like a bunch of hubs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm pumped.
Yep. Cool. The thing I was going to mention to you, does this feel like a this year game, or do you think it's 2020? Because I'm feeling like 2020.
I think it's this year.
You think it's this year, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Because
I would like them to do like I feel like they're big enough that they don't need to have it at the end of the year. Give me some time. Drop it in April. Let me spend 60 hours with it, 70 hours with it, please.
What's coming out for 2K this year?
I haven't looked. I don't know. NBA?
Yes. WWE. Nothing else. That's why I think it's this year, because they don't have anything else.
What did 2K do last year? Nothing.
Well, they had Rockstar, though. They had Rockstar
I guess
ruining everything, right? They've got to have something other than those two.
BioShock.
No.
Could be a BioShock game.
You are telling me streaming. It's never going to happen. It's this. This is their game for the year.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I just felt like...
I guess they had Civ, right?
Yeah.
Beyond the Storm. But that's an expansion pack. No, I reckon it's this year.
Right. I just feel like they could drop it March or something next year. Or maybe not even March. March seems too busy now. April.
Yeah.
April next year, and they'd be fine. Like,
I think they'd get away with it, yeah. But
anyway, they have a second announcement though that they are doing at PAX, and it seems to be We Happy Few related. They put up an image and said, we've got more than one game announcement to make type thing. And the art style and the look of the robot that is sort of dismantled is pretty much the same robot or the robots that you would see in We Happy Few.
didn't play it.
Didn't play it either.
Don't care.
Pretty average things about it.
No fucking way that it can compete with the other announcement. It'd be like announcing that that the Gap was coming to a convention and then announcing some other shitty fucking podcast that nobody gives a fuck about.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's happened before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out more. 2 weeks, end of March.
Yeah.
This is happening.
2
I
weeks.
guess we'll talk about it then. I'm looking forward to seeing what that game looks like.
Yep.
All right. Next one is some big news. Jade Raymond is taking on a VP role, a VP department role at Google. Jade Raymond is a producer who worked at Ubisoft. She was part of the Assassin's Creed team. She did some Splinter Cell work as well. She was at EA for a little while, working with, I believe, Amy on some stuff. I could be wrong about that, but she was at EA. And this is all surrounding rumors that Google is working on a new console or some sort of console. gaming hardware.
Yeah.
These Google rumors started coming out a couple of weeks ago, and then this announcement of Jade heading up a department, a VP department in Google, sort of lines up with like the two rumors sort of, or these two pieces of news sort of collide together. And then on top of that, Google also has a keynote at GDC next week, and yeah, these things just keep piling up. So they are doing something in gaming. It and Ubisoft will be there as well. That's some of the news that dropped today. They'll be on stage with Google. Are you feeling like this is an actual new console or one of their like Android type dealios again? Or is this like Google getting in the console game?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's cloud streaming service situation.
Right.
They're going to announce some sort of device that allows you to, have cloud stream some games onto your fucking thing.
TV.
But
Your Google
it's
TV.
not going to be an actual hardware platform for independent games or stuff or anything like that. No fucking way. Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be like a. Do you think it's going to be a device that you buy, or is it like a subscription service where you pay $20 a month, you go and buy a controller?
It's going to be a subscription service on top of a device that I think you're going to have to buy. It's going to be cheap. It'll be on the cheap. It'll be like lightweight hardware, literally just designed to stream the game into your TV, I guess. And yeah, I can see why Ubisoft would be there. I think they
Ubisoft's on everything.
but they were Google were like I think it might have been leaked. I'm not sure, but it was demoing basically people were playing fucking 4K Assassin's Creed, the latest one,
Right.
Odyssey, in like on their TVs with no hardware. Like it was literally just being streamed. So yeah, I think that's what they're driving at. I think the controller will be the bulk of the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from, of course, the cloud streaming situation. But yeah, it's going to be tricky because I think I could run it, probably not at 4K, not at a frame rate that I'd be happy with. But I don't think many Australians will be able to. You wouldn't be able to.
Why not?
You don't have unlimited internet.
Yeah, this is true.
You're gonna piss away all your fucking bandwidth just playing fucking Assassin's Creed? I don't fucking think so.
I mean, maybe they tie up with some ISPs down here.
Yeah, maybe. We go back to the good old days of data capped
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll learn more about that next week.
Yes, we will.
Yep. Next one here, PlayerUnknown, who is the creator of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, is leaving or has left as creative director of PUBG. He is now starting up a separate department within PUBG Corp where they'll be working on special projects. So it sounds like new games from him. So in the meantime, it sounds like that the Korean office has pretty much taken over control of PUBG, and he's staying on as like a consultant from Amsterdam. But yeah, otherwise it sounds like he is pretty much out of PUBG.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't know. I guess he doesn't need to creatively drive the game all that much anymore. It is what it is, right? It's its own thing now. So I guess his input maybe isn't that valuable comparatively, but still, it's pretty weird. His name's on the box and shit. So yeah, I don't know. Weird.
But I wonder if that's the thing now where they just, like, you know, Dota, how Dota is no longer Defense of the Ancients, it's now Dota. Like,
Sure.
Do they now shift to just calling it PUBG so they can get his name out of it?
Yeah, maybe. But Ice Frog's still working on Dota, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's all a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't play it anymore. So
Yeah, so he started up a new team in Amsterdam. So I'm guessing we'll see something from them. I don't think like there was speculation it's going to be PUBG too, but I don't think that's what he's interested in. That just seems like a weird decision.
yeah,
It's gonna be something different. So I'm sure we've got like years until we find out what's going on over there. But anyway, so he's gone. Um, all this stuff is yours. You put this. Oh, Firestorm is going to be available end of March, which is the battle royale mode in Battlefield 5.
yep,
They put out a new trailer today.
yeah. It looks cool. It's a good trailer. It's got a bit of
Yeah.
humor. It's a lot better than the Battlefield 5 launch one, which was not received very well because it didn't really explain or demonstrate anything. You can drive a tractor, which is
Yep.
good. And yeah, it looks like the firestorm itself looks pretty damaging, but it doesn't look like it'll be insta kill, which is probably a good thing. But yeah, it's it looks awesome. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. Uh, Helicopters, eh? Eh?
Yeah, helicopters.
There. But yeah, it doesn't look like you're safe in them or anything like that. So yeah, it just looks like it'll be a good mode. So yeah, I'm pumped. Bring it on.
Yeah. Do you think that Apex will launch their season pass the same day?
Oh, 100%. At this point, it's their only fucking choice. Yeah, I don't know. They've twiddled their thumbs so fucking much that yeah, what else are they going to do? It's
It's their
25th, right?
payback to EA. Yeah, 25th. So
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Or, 10 days. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've been hanging out for ages.
right. Next up, Turtle Rock and Warner Brothers announced Back for Blood. So Turtle Rock is the studio that made Left 4 Dead
Yes.
and Evolve.
And Evolve.
So there you go.
So they've announced a new co-op shooter called Back for Blood, being published by Warner Brothers. It sounds like it's far more Left 4 Dead than it is Evolve, but details are pretty skint at the moment. All I know is I will 1000% play anything that these dudes put out to see if it's any good. I still 100% believe that they've got it in them. I don't think Evolve skewed that for me. That one was monetized to death. It wasn't bad from the outset. But yeah. We are thrilled to partner with the proven Turtle Rock Studios team on Back for Blood to advance the co-op zombie genre forward with innovative multiplayer gameplay, said David Haddad, president of Warner Brothers Interactive. So yeah, I'm there. I'm 100% there. Like day one for sure. Hopefully before day one. Hopefully I can get an early code or something. That's what I'm about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do they have a date? They didn't put a trailer up or anything.
No, they got nothing.
Yeah. I want to see just Valve come out and be like, actually, here's Left Dead 3. It's out next week.
That would be.
And it'd be like, bro.
They'd have to make a game though.
Yeah.
Probably make it a card game.
Speaking of Valve, did you see that he's no longer there for Artifact, the guy that made it?
No, really.
Yeah, he's been he got what's the word?
Fired.
Not fired. His job got made redundant.
Oh,
I guess.
let go. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah. Well, it always sucks when someone loses their job, but Artifact was a dog. All right. What's this? Control coming out summer USA. What's Control?
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I did write this. Control the game from Remedy is it sounds like it's coming out very soon. I was a bit surprised about that. So it's got a date or at least a season. Summer in the USA is, I believe, between around June or August, around that period. So that's surprising to me. I thought it was going to be a while off.
Yep.
I thought that would be next year, early next year or something like that. So yeah, that's closer to what I was speculating. I'm very keen to check this out. I'm obviously a big fan of Remedy's games. Not so much the last one they put out. I thought it was interesting. I like the Quantum Break was interesting in terms of what they were trying to accomplish, but I don't think it was executed as well. I'm obviously a big fan of Max Payne 1 and 2, Alan Wake, and American Nightmares. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with it, whatever those guys are making. Control seems to be sort of back leaning towards the Alan Wake sort of stuff, like very mysterious supernatural things are going on. Like Quantum Break had a bit of that stuff, but still took itself a bit more like seriously.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen from Control so far, it looks very strange, like this weird aesthetic going for it. Very like Twin Peaksy type vibe as well. So yeah, I'm excited to see more of that game. You haven't seen it at all, have you?
Nope.
No, just trailers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks cool.
Huh.
Interesting at least. So yeah, pumped, excited. And this last one is you.
Yeah. Krusty Raven and Matt Smith have both helpfully pointed out, Krusty Raven on our Discord, Matt Smith on our Facebook, have both pointed out that Deacon St. John's name is the creative director John Garvin's first pet, Deacon, and his child, the street he grew up on as a child, is St. John. So he's given us the old, what is it, the phishing details. Wasn't this a social engineering scam to find out people like the answers to people's fucking password questions?
Yeah.
And like, what was the name of your first pet? Oh, your porn star name is the name of your first pet and the first street you grew up on. And yeah, every time you go to fucking, I forgot my password, it asks you what was your first pet name and what was, et cetera, et cetera. So he's just publicized it to the world. So that's a pretty slick move there, John Garvin.
It's for Days Gone.
For Days Gone, obviously. Good points. Yeah. My main character would be called Tammy Cosway, and I say this in full knowledge of what I just said about publicizing the answers, because knowing this, I don't use that as my answers. But yeah, Tammy Cosway definitely sounds like a woman who had plans to be a country music star, but failed along the way and just went with being a stripper instead. But she still does. She dresses as a cowboy when she's stripping, so she's got plans. Anyway,
Right.
Yeah, yep. I won't ask you to give away yours because you're probably not thinking 7 steps ahead like I am. So no. All right. Let's do some questions, shall we?
Yeah.
Fridge Monster Man writes.
That's a name.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. On our Discord. Thanks for the PS4 purchasing advice. I didn't realize the Pro would have performance improvements at 1080p, so I'll definitely grab one. So PAX Oz is taking place on my birthday. Oh yeah, did we mention when PAX Oz is coming?
We did not.
When is it coming?
August 11th.
August 11th, that's it.
Sorry, October 11th.
Shall we fucking check?
No, it's early October.
Spanner. 11th to 13th of October at the MCEC. I got a lot of stick online for pitching that it was moving to Sydney. Apparently, a lot of people bought into my trolling efforts and were convinced that it was coming to Sydney. So that's my bad.
We'd heard that it was taking place in early October.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to get them to move it to Sydney.
That's the dream. Anyway, so PAX Oz is taking place on my birthday, and I'm thinking about going. Any travel tips? I've only been to Melbourne once, and that was 15 years ago. Travel tips for Melbourne: book your fucking stuff, book your flights now, and if you can, your accommodation right now as well.
Well, I guess so. The biggest problem with the way it used to work, it was in line with Melbourne Cup.
True.
And so the weekend that PAX was on was also the weekend that you'd have everybody coming in for Melbourne Cup weekend, and they had all the horse racing or like all the preliminary. I don't know. I'm not a fucking horse racing person, but they have like events on that weekend, and like everybody's getting in, and so accommodation was just ridiculous. Also, it was Halloween. So everything was nuts. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna change now. Now that they've moved out of that sort of the sightlines of the Melbourne Cup and being like less busy overall.
You're still better off unless
Yeah,
unless you can hit a sale. Like there might be a decent sale in the next month for flights, but generally post 6 months you won't get good great. Well, you might. It's just a gamble thinking you'll
yeah,
get better flights
yeah.
inside of 6 months of when you
We've
travel.
got a buddy that works for an airline, and he's always like, "Don't you book early as you can
Yeah.
because the later you wait, the
The
more expensive
it,
they get, unless there is a sale.
and
Like that's the only time."
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I would book sooner rather than later. At most, I would wait until the end of this month to have a punt on flights. Accommodation, you can probably hold out on that one. I've never had too much trouble in finding decently priced accommodation later, but it depends on how much you're willing to pay. You want to stay somewhere down the South Bank end of Melbourne, just because you wind up doing a lot of walking during PAX. So you don't want to have to walk too far to get back to your hotel, and you can always catch a cab to somewhere fucking trendy to go to get your drink on.
yeah,
But yeah, you don't want to have to catch a cab to PAX and back from your fucking hotel every night, no, or every day. It's just it's a mad dick pain. So yeah, that is my advice. Definitely book early and definitely try to keep it near South Bank. But I'm not a Melbourne expert either. If someone who wants to write in and let us know some fucking hot tip, if we've been doing it wrong, staying down near South Bank because we should be staying somewhere else, or we can catch a single tram that'll take us there in a fucking heartbeat. Definitely let us know because yeah, I basically just base everything on how hard it is to walk everywhere these days.
right. So what I generally do is I'll look for flights. I'll book early as I can because flights generally, unless there's a sale, they don't get cheaper.
Yep.
Accommodation. What I've done in the past is I'll check out What If, and they sometimes have sales on where it'll be like this, hotel's doing 30% off, and sometimes it'll be but the problem with that is you need to pay now. And so with most hotels, you'd be you book a hotel and you pay when you get there. But these guys sometimes will be all right, the thing is you need to pay now. So there's that sort of thing you need to watch out for.
True.
But sometimes those prices are really cheap.
Yeah.
I've done accommodation and flights packages in the past. They're sometimes really good through sites like What If or those types of places. There are hotel pricing on the PAX website. You can do flights and accommodation packages through them.
Sure.
Sometimes some of those really good. Again, the problem with that is if you want to make changes later on, sometimes it doesn't let you. I guess it just depends on the hotel and whether or not you've paid for it. When I get there, I generally take the bus from the airport straight into the city.
Oh yeah.
That bus is I think it's $20 maybe. It's quite cheap. It's definitely a lot cheaper than it's going to cost to get an Uber.
39 return, right? I always get the return, and yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty direct, and they've got a bunch of transfers from South Bank Station as well, where they'll take you to all around the city as well. So even if you're staying at a hotel sort of nearby, you can catch the fucking transfer bus, hop off, and have a short walk. You just got to work out where you're close to, but they've got a map and stuff, so you can work it out.
Yeah. So the bus that I took last year, it's called Sky Bus. There's a bunch of them. The bus that I took last year actually went from the airport and then started doing the loop around the city. The one that I normally take goes straight to the central station, and then you get off there, and then normally I'd walk, but this time it's the one that I went on. There's different buses that you can get, so it went actually around the city, and I stopped off literally out the front of where I was staying. So that was really good as well. But yeah, try and get somewhere, like Joab said, towards the south end of Melbourne, because then you're doing less walking. If you're in somewhere else in the city, there are free trams. At I think the free trams stop like the stop before the convention center, so you just have to get off and walk like 5 minutes. But otherwise, yeah, the rest of the trams are free, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, last year I stayed a block away from the convention center, just like next to the casino.
Yeah, I've generally gotten an Airbnb basically a block away from the convention center each time. It's always a primo fucking plan when I'm hardcore destroyed at 3 o'clock in the morning and I just need to stumble back somewhere. It's very easy to just stumble back the short distance to an Airbnb as opposed to trying to catch a fucking tram. Also, the free trams are, only in that loop, and the one that comes straight to the thing is not free, but you could always make it free by not buying a ticket. Although the Gap does not advocate the cool crime of fare jumping. Luke's pissed. Luke's like, I cannot believe Joab's just said this. Now I got to note down the time that I got to edit.
I got to edit the show for once
to get rid of the fucking bit where he advocated fare jumping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good question, and thank you for reminding us about PAX.
Yeah, that was a solid one. Thank you, Fridge Monster Man. That is it for the show.
Is it? That's it. You can find The Gap on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, all those wonderful places. The Gap, the GA podcast, search one of those things. It will definitely come up. If you've got some time, please rate and review the show. It helps other people find it. And it means that we end up being higher on lists and things because it's recommending it to more people, which is good. I mean, we're always usually up there, but we'd like to be higher. That'd be good.
Of course.
Yeah. 5 seconds, that's all it takes, I think. Just right, like, podcast was excellent.
Podcast, good.
Yep.
Why use many words when
2
few word
is enough.
Work. Yeah.
2.5 hour show. You can find us on social media as well. Twitter.com/the GA podcast, Facebook.com/GA podcast. You can send us questions as well through our email, thegapodcast@gmail.com, if you want to get in contact with us that way, or you can get through our Discord page, which is thegapodcast.com/Discord. Got a bunch of chat channels up there, people talking about video games, movies, sending us questions. You can play games in there through voice channels. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people this weekend playing The Division 2.
Yeah, it seems likely.
Yeah, we've had a big run of Apex Legends in there. There was some Battlefield 5 going last night. So, yeah, there's some things happening. You can also watch this show on YouTube, thegapodcast.com/YouTube. That'll take you to that. I'll put some footage up this week of, what do we got? Maybe The Division?
Division, yeah.
I haven't recorded any, so...
Good one, Dick.
I was thinking about it the other night. I was like, I should record some footage, but I'm at the point now where I'm too far in where I feel like, fuck, I don't think I can.
Do you still have the recording of the hard mode?
I have to check.
All right.
I'll have to go look at that one.
Have a squiz.
Of us just getting shredded.
Yep.
Yeah. The only footage I've got is one of me shooting a raccoon that was going through the trash.
Ah, yeah.
And at the time, I didn't realize you could shoot animals or raccoons in the game, and it died, and I was a little bit upset. I was like, why the fuck? I don't normally shoot animals in games like that. Like, they're not doing anything. I know you do it all the time, but...
Me? What?
Yeah, I think you immediately shot, like, a deer in the game we jumped into.
Deers, yeah, but I've never shot a dog.
Okay.
I've got fucking...
There was that one in that corridor. Someone shot it.
It definitely wasn't me. I'm pretty sure it was you and Nate.
Yep.
Yep.
You can go to our website, thegapodcast.com. It's got links to all the things we just talked about, including past episodes of our show, if you want to check out some previous things we talked about. And our website is brought to you by all our wonderful Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/GA podcast. Thank you to everyone that does that every month. Muchly appreciated.
You are the best.
And I think, have I spruiked everything? I think that's it.
That's it.
Anything you want to pimp out this week? Any work you got going on?
Before this, no. No, not before this episode. Before the next episode. Don't worry about that. Go to Red Bull. Check out my big piece on Restore and Recall, which is a Recall and Restore rather, which is an initiative, a mental health awareness initiative that Riot put on. I talked to a bunch of players from the OPL about what mental health means to them and their sort of the tools they use to deal with tilts and stuff like that, and how important it is to sleep. It's important to sleep, even if certain social media accounts would like to pitch that you don't need to sleep. You should definitely sleep. And for some people, what looks like procrastination is actually just mentally healthy downtime. So shout outs to a certain social media account that made me look like a dickhead all week. That was good. And what else? Check out on IGN. They've got like a video from their Burnt Horizon launch party. I think it turned out pretty good. Have you watched it?
I watched the one that went up on Twitter, and I was like, the editing in this is not great.
Yeah.
And then I watched the full one. I was like, okay, this is a bit better.
The full one is much better. It's a bit over edited. I think they had to chop it down like heaps to get it. Yeah. I think it's got to be like 90 seconds or something. So
a bit where like people were getting cut off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the full ones, it's pretty good. I think it turned out pretty good. I was disappointed. There was some gags that we did that didn't make the final cut, which was a disappointment. I took to a snake's tail for a bit, and I thought it was pretty funny, but it mustn't have scanned, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, it's good stuff. What about you? What do you got?
You can go to survivor.com, check out a bunch of my work there. I think next week I've probably got my a feature going up about the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080. I wrote a bunch of stuff about that, and did some graphs and images and whatnot. So
Sweet.
I think that'll go up next week. I've submitted it, so I guess we'll wait and see what happens, and then I'll talk a bit about that next week. I guess a bit more in detail. Otherwise, that's all I really got going on for the moment that I can think of.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Cool.
I'm sure there's more. I don't know, man. I've played like I said, 25 hours of fucking Division in 3 days, so I'm definitely sort of not with it.
Are you reviewing that for Survivor or anything?
No, for us.
Okay, cool. Nice.
For us, and I mean, I've been helping Survivor out a little bit with some of their stuff.
Right.
Giving them feedback. I don't know if they want anything else from me, but we'll see.
All right.
Yeah.
Giving us the primo shit.
Yep. Next week, I guess we'll talk more Division. Division 2. But the big one, I guess, hopefully we'll be able to talk about Sekiro. That's out next week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, then, yeah, hopefully we can.
Next Friday, I think it is out. So
Sweet.
I'm just checking. Yeah, it's next Friday. So, I mean, we'll wait and see, but fingers crossed we'll be able to talk about it by then. Probably not a lot, but maybe something. At least something. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard some good things. And obviously it's From Software, so we are big fanboys over that one.
Yep.
All right. That's it. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Before we get out here?
Yep.
Twitter.com/LukeLawrie.
Twitter.com/JoeyJojo.
That's us. We're out. See you.
Peace. Next week.